Tamiflu, ivermectin. Order online at allfamilypharmacy.com/bill. Use code BILL10 to save 10%. On this Thursday, when evaluating Donald Trump's second term, there is really only one fair measure. Is the president improving the country with his policies? Simple. Demeanor doesn't matter because 77 million American voters supported Mr. Trump's quest for a White House return. Every single one of those people knew what they were voting for. At this point, the USA is gaining strength economically by most measures, but high prices remain. The president's trying a number of things to bring that down, but nobody knows whether it will work or not. Food and insurance premiums are the big indicator there. Crime is down across the country. Obviously, that's a good thing. Illegal immigration has largely stopped. Now it's a roundup, which is controversial. Border security, much stronger. Bad guys like Maduro and the Iranian mullahs have been confronted. Cuba may fall. Putin remains a serious problem. The Chinese seem to want some kind of détente. In my opinion, that's a pretty strong record in 12 months. Not perfect, but trending positive for most Americans, even those who hate Donald Trump. However, hatred always overrides rational thought. Always. Back in a moment. Bill O'Reilly here. If you are stuck in a timeshare you no longer want, my friends at Lone Star Transfer can assist. Over the past 15 years, the family-owned company has helped more than 30,000 owners break free from their timeshares. They'll provide a guaranteed solution to exit your timeshare. So please call Lone Star Transfer 833-594-0079 or visit LoneStarTransfer.com. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor for all your roofing needs. Visit ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER Roofing.com. Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand.
Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so, he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
Good morning, freedom fighters. Kenny Williams.
Good morning, freedom fighting Vic.
Almost, so close.
I didn't get it. Freedom fighting bravery. It was tough.
Sometimes alliteration is our enemy.
Well, I need to warm up my. You know how they do those little practice.
La 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 la. Karen Kataline's going to
I'm not doing that. I'm sorry.
All good. Karen Kataline's going to be along in just a sec. A little levity today with Caroline Levitt. You know, she's pregnant, so she's going to go away for maternity leave, and we're going to miss her, and they better find somebody good to replace her is all I got to say.
They really should.
Jonathan Heslop. Sorry. I'm so sorry, Jonathan. Rockwood Charcoal and Capriotti's. Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm.
And he wants to talk about small business issues. You know, he's a small business owner. And
right.
Small business is the heart of America, but yet the one that are pooped on every day.
Yeah, he's really anxious to talk about, things going on politically.
Nate Lucas, at 10:05 today, I went last night, I rewatched Wag the Dog. We talked about that movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that.
It's on Amazon if you want to watch it, and it's everything that you see going on in America right now. And that was 1997 they made that movie. Porcelli's Deli today for Bob Weir, so we'll talk about some Grateful Dead. You have a great Grateful Dead story you want to tell.
Oh, yeah.
And Nick Shirley, ladies and gentlemen, has done it again. He's out journalist. He's doing good.
He's journalizing.
He's journalizing when the journalists aren't journalizing.
Right.
They're not doing anything. And our great friends Maria Ruhl and James Ortiz. Can't wait to hear James just go off on Venezuela and Cuba and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
He loves to do that. And the chat box, of course, at the end of the day. All right, Kenny, who is doing the Pledge of Allegiance for us today?
From Wreaths Across America, Dawn Lulith.
Oh, Dawn, we love you. Go right ahead.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Go right ahead.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, very quickly. Minnesota, as we talked about at length yesterday, Minneapolis is burning Volume 2, I guess we can call it, because an ICE officer shot another person. And you know what? He was being beaten at the time with brooms.
By 3 people.
And shovels, you know. And so they always say, why don't you just shoot him in the leg? Guess what? He shot him in the leg. So now shut up about it.
Right.
Because the guy's not even dead. And Nick Shirley, man, holy cow. We're going to play you some audio that's going to blow you away, because now we're past the child care thing. Now we're in deep, way deeper. And
yeah, we're gonna talk about the hub of all of it.
Yeah, and where the money goes and where the money doesn't go, and what they're not doing to get money for doing nothing.
Right.
Is that basically it?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, let's go.
The one and only Karen Kataline.
Did you know that I'm married to a trucker? I feel like using a Yiddish word, vermischt. Spoiling in front of my computer, I am. They're just too dumb to lie. He has the effect of 6 shots of scotch.
Good morning, Karen Kataline. How are you?
Well, good morning, Vic and Ken.
Hi.
Good morning, Vic.
I want to give Ken a little quiz, okay?
Okay.
And you're going to listen. This is a great quote. I want you to tell me who wrote this quote.
Oh, okay.
Okay. We live in astonishing times. In Iran, they're protesting in favor of freedom. In Minneapolis, they're protesting in favor of tyranny. Whose quote is that?
Thomas Sowell? No,
Karen Kataline.
Is it really?
Yes, it is.
Karen.
What a great, you should do that for a living. Just write
Yeah.
little quotes like that.
My brain works overtime, and these things come to me, and I go, I got to write that down.
See, that's my problem.
Well,
I don't
thank
write
you.
anything down. I don't write anything down. And then
Yeah.
Ken says, hey, what do we get? I don't know. I didn't write it down.
I don't know. But it's so simple and yet so frustrating, you know?
Yes.
I just keep thinking I have to be more circumspect when I come on here. And that lasts for about 42 seconds. And then I get all worked up.
It's okay.
It's like, not that there's anything to get worked up about.
Right.
If you're concerned about good and evil and lies and deceit and truth, you know, it's not that big a deal, right?
You know what, though, Karen? I totally get where you're coming from right there. I have to calm myself down constantly.
Yes.
I want to be concise. I want to be explanatory. Okay, and I tend to get so excited about something that I miss like 4 or 5 points that I wanted to make to get the point across to people. But I've got to calm myself down because so much is happening that it just drives you crazy.
Yeah, and I have more sympathy for you. When you put it like that, I say, don't worry, you know? If you have righteous indignation about having been lied to and about liars, cheaters, and thieves who no longer want to hide even that they're liars, cheaters, and thieves, they are legislating in favor of insurrection while they handle, you know, they put out a total dog and pony show about how outraged they are about insurrection. I mean, the hypocrisy is so breathtaking that if you're not living with righteous indignation, you probably don't have a pulse or you're morally bankrupt. I mean, yes, when we do this on the radio, I keep saying to myself, I gotta sound circumspect. No, I don't. I never professed
Tell me.
to be a journalist.
Right. No, you're right.
I'm
You're
not trying to be a journalist. I'm a commentator, and I'm passionate. And I think too often people think that if you're passionate or if you're now I'm justifying myself, of course, then you know you're not being polite.
Yeah.
No, you're rolling over and letting people roll over you.
Yeah.
And you know, when you have somebody like Jacob Fry, the mayor of Minneapolis,
Oy vey.
pitting one law
What a
enforcement unit,
horrendous.
not unit, but one law enforcement thing against another, you know, I mean, I don't know if you saw it was late last night after that ICE agent had to shoot another person, shot him in the leg, by the way. They always say, why don't you shoot him in the leg? Okay, I did. All right, shut up. So he's doing his thing, and he's talking about the police department, right after the police chief said something, and the police chief had a look on his face like, what are you doing? What are you saying? You know?
Yeah.
It was crazy. I mean, I don't know what the conversation was after they both left the microphone, but I bet it wasn't pleasantries.
Yeah, and I don't haven't delved into the politics of Minnesota because I'm going to need a shower. But what I was pleased about is that apparently, tell me where I'm wrong, the Minnesota legislature is actually moving to impeach Tim Walz.
Yep.
So I'm wondering what kind of makeup that is, because if you can corrupt the police department, get them to run with their tails between their legs when the rabid, insane, psychotic protesters run after them, and judges who are corrupt and colluding like Keith, what's his face? I can't
Keith
remember
Ellison.
his name. Oh my God. These people, not only are their hands dirty, their hands are always out. Who does not think that they're getting their palms greased regularly with this massive flow of money, taxpayer money, getting confiscated from you and me? So for them to do that, I have to applaud them, but I don't even know how it was possible. Or maybe they're doing it and they're not going to follow through and vote to get rid of him, because he deserves to be in prison. First, he needs to be charged. Then he needs to be put on trial. Then they need to do a trial like we like to do. And then if he's guilty, he needs to go to prison.
And it's as simple as that. Karen, he's doing something right now that's completely illegal as the governor of Minnesota.
Yes, I know.
He's telling the National Guard of Minnesota, get ready. I want you to be practicing because you might be going against the federal government and the armed forces of the federal government, which is against it creates a constitutional crisis.
Despicable.
I think, Karen, I think he's doing that on purpose to deflect from what is going on with his life.
Well, and you know what? It's all connected. Excuse me. It's all connected. This corruption, this takeover of corruption in Minnesota, Minnesota ripe for paid, radical, useful, idiot protesters protecting rapists, murderers, and thieves. Well, of course it's all connected. And furthermore, I don't think they had to edit out Tim Walz saying, now I want you to march peacefully and patriotically.
Excellent
Wow,
point.
that's a great point.
Excellent point.
Yeah.
You know, that's one part of it, right? Minneapolis is burning on that side, and Minneapolis burning on the other side because Nick Shirley doing more journalism in 2 days than NBC News has done in 10 years. And they went into the store because now it's not just childcare. Now it's transportation services, non-emergency medical transportation services when there is none. And, you know, it's just Minnesota and Minneapolis specifically is that problem child in school. Remember the one kid that always went to the principal's office, always had to sit outside the class? You know, Ken Williams type of people. But you know what I mean? It's
yeah, but I think that California is going to turn out to be worse if it's possible.
Yep.
The bar is pretty high for corruption and robbery and thievery and embezzlement. You know, I was thinking one other thing that I didn't post about how, in fact, I'm glad I thought of it. I thought, let's see, when you ask, why was Tim Walz the choice to install, because certainly commie law wasn't the final word on making him a vice presidential candidate. How is it that a guy like that got this plum position, possibly being president one day? And I have the answer. Because he always made money for his patents.
He was like Hyman Roth.
No, yeah, that's true because Karen,
he was a rainmaker. He was a rainmaker.
Somehow, immediately, Kamala's campaign was $35 million richer.
Yeah, he was being rewarded for being the biggest confiscator of American taxpayer money and funneling in little Somalia, little Mogadishu into Minnesota. And who thinks he wasn't getting rewarded financially and otherwise for all of that. How come nobody's talking about the woman who was murdered in Minnesota because she posed a political threat to Tim Walz?
Mm-hmm.
The state representative.
How about that?
Yeah.
That's gone. Nobody's talking about that.
Well, when they do, though,
you know,
the guy that shot her was MAGA, right? Even though he had no Kings posters in the back of his car.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't matter.
That's what all MAGA people have. Because
yeah, but they were lying. And, you know, there's no track record for the left lying, I want you to know.
No, none.
So we have to consider every single thing they say seriously because we don't have a pattern of their lies and deceit.
That's because
facetious.
Tim Walz always makes money for his partners.
For his partners.
Always does.
He's Hyman Roth without the brains.
They weren't going to kill him politically. Boy, is he dumb.
He's
what
so
an
dumb.
embarrassment. What an embarrassment.
The reason why I said about Minneapolis and Minnesota is that here we go again in the same city that almost burned itself down completely after the George Floyd thing, right? And we found out through watching a film, a documentary called Minneapolis is Burning, that the only reason that Derek Chauvin had to be convicted was because they were afraid of rioting so bad that you wouldn't be able to recognize Minneapolis anymore. So.
Well, yeah.
But I honestly,
they let the toothpaste out of the tube.
Yeah.
You know.
I honestly believe though that guys, they want this whole place to burn down. They want Minneapolis. They want Minnesota. They want it all to burn down so they can build it up in their own form again.
I agree with that, but on the other hand, don't agree with that.
Okay. All right.
Because they had to convict the white police officer of killing the black drug addict, scumbag, criminal.
No, that part, yeah. That back then, yes. I'm talking about today.
Well, right. Well, this is back then.
No, I
know.
know.
What I mean?
But I'm being uncharacteristically harmonizing. You're both right.
Oh,
because
I like that.
again, they're related to one another. The only way that you can inflame people to be useful idiots and run and stop ICE officers who have automatic, semi-automatic weapons, whatever they have, in doing their job and riling people up to such a degree is to feed them a steady diet of propaganda and incitement and hatred and divisiveness and victimhood. And that's what they need to do. They always need to pit white against black, old against young, men against women. Oh, did you know? There are people who are, I'm sorry, it's just all connected in my brain.
Yeah.
People who are making cases before Congress and even the Supreme Court about women's rights, but cannot answer whether men can have babies or not. That's the situation we are living in today. It's unbelievable.
Josh Hoy was asking an OBGYN a simple question: can men get pregnant?
Yeah.
And she's like,
How
well,
about
you know, that yes/no question is very political. Oh, but what you're saying is not political, that men can get pregnant. All right, our time goes by so fast, and I apologize for that, Karen Kataline.
That was a fast rant. Boy, that did go quickly.
It did.
That's why we
All
rev you
right.
up. Have a great weekend.
Talk to you.
All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
See you, Karen.
Bye.
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 She just words things very well.
I know.
doesn't she?
Yeah.
Something
I wish I would have seen that post of hers on X. For some reason, I don't get her stuff. I think X is really throttling me right now.
It's pinned. That may help.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I'll see it now that I know about it. But Vic, right now I can't even accept followers more than 5 at a time.
Yeah, me too.
It's weird.
So
really weird.
It's a great line, though. We live in astonishing times. In Iran, they protest in favor of freedom. In Minneapolis, they protest in favor of tyranny. It's
amazing, yeah.
Brilliant.
That's really good.
All right, let's stop getting so serious here. It's time for a little bit of levity. That's next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home.
Follow us on Rumble at News Talk STL. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Turbocharge turbocharge the emerging global clean energy economy. I want to be clear.
On News Talk STL.
fantastic.
Yes, I listen on my phone.
If you have a phone, you have a radio.
It is awesome.
Download the all-new News Talk STL app and listen anytime, anywhere.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL 1019. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
Why are you going to work? It's Sunday.
It's a brand new show on News Talk STL. JC's Sunday Showgram.
What famous St. Louis news anchor did I meet when she worked as a Playboy bunny? And we'll relive the famous Ricky Prohl catch this week in 2000. Plus, Uma Thurman's feat, Natalie Portman at age 15, and a St. Louis Blues player's wife who couldn't wait for her husband to leave on a road trip. All brought to you by the Weber Automotive Group.
Sunday mornings, 7 to 9. Then podcast each Monday on NewsTalkSTL.com.
This is Tony Colombo, and my favorite Capriotti sandwich is the cheesesteak made with American Wagyu beef from Snake River Farms, and you have to include a side of their amazing fries. I love Capriotti's, and you will too.
Open 9 to 9 daily on Manchester at McKnight in Rock Hill.
Why leave your company's story to chance? In today's digital world, video content isn't just an option. It's essential for your success. At Blue Ocean Media Group, we've spent decades crafting compelling visual stories for businesses just like yours. From concept to completion, our award-winning team transforms your vision into powerful video content that connects with your audience and drives results. Don't trust your brand to amateurs. Partner with Blue Ocean Media Group. Visit BlueOceanMediaGroup.com today, and let's bring your story to life.
Whoosh.
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019.
Hi, this is Joe DeVito, and you're listening to Vic and Ken on 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL, and I'm completely nude.
Hey, close on there,
Harris.
DeVito. So, in the past 10 days or so was the anniversary of David Bowie's birth and his death. He died like just days after his 69th birthday. And, you know, he was my first concert. David Bowie was my first concert, Madison Square Garden, and the Thin White Duke tour. And I tried to get my son into David Bowie for years and years. And unfortunately, he made the mistake of starting at Diamond Dogs, which is a great album, but you really gotta, you gotta have that head for David Bowie before you listen to it. And then after high school, he started to get into Bowie and everything. I started it with him with Young Americans and the song Young Americans. And I said, "Did you hear the tribute to the Beatles in there when the backup singers say, 'I heard the news today, oh boy'?" Yeah, exact line from Day in the Life. And he thought that was incredibly cool. And then he started getting into it more and more, and now he's a great big fan as well. And the night that David Bowie died, he was in another room, and he said, "Why am I seeing in my feed that David Bowie's dead?" And I was like, no. This was 2016, by the way. Remember when everybody died in 2016? This was just at the beginning of the year, of course. But, it was a terrible year for losing people, artists and stuff. So what he did to grieve in his way was he went down. He had a little studio in our house with a piano and stuff in there and recording equipment. And he went down there and he recorded his favorite David Bowie song, which is Lady Stardust, so that the story of the song, that it's all right, the band was all together. Those are the words to the song. Because when Lady Stardust is in the band and performing, everything's all right. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And I was so impressed. I'm so impressed with that kid. Okay, I'm sorry. Who's on the phone?
Hey, Lincoln County Willie up in Lincoln County.
Oh, Willie, what's happening, baby?
What's up, Vic?
I'm good, baby.
Heard of you lately. I thought maybe they had done run you out of the country.
Hey, don't give them any ideas.
Hey, you know, Italians are next.
That's the next group they'll come after. What's going on, man?
My question is, when are we going to see some indictments on these crooks?
You mean like Bill and Hillary?
Insider trading, Clinton and all his crookedness.
All of them.
I'm getting impatient.
Yeah. I don't know. My patience is wearing thin, and you know, the big line my wife always says is Republicans don't do anything. Willie, they just don't do anything.
People are getting mad though, Willie. They're getting angry.
Well, I'm kind of thinking maybe they might be afraid that some of this is going to slide off on them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. All right, Willie, we appreciate your call, my friend. Thanks for always being there with us. We appreciate you.
Hey, man, you're my favorite.
Oh, all right.
Well, thanks a lot, Willie. Tell everybody up in Lincoln County we appreciate it up in God's country.
Oh, and let everybody know today is the last day of deer season. So
Oh, yeah.
And it got by me again. I didn't get a
I know,
chance
me
to get
too.
out there. And
Yeah.
go. All right, Willie, be good. You know what's funny, Ken?
Yeah.
Willie sounds a little bit like this guy.
I just thought it was time I just thought we'd have a little levity today.
It's an honor to be here. President Trump is back.
News about today's events and conditions.
I don't know about you, but I don't want my dollars going towards this crap.
A little levity.
77 million Americans voted to elect this president.
Have you ever noticed that the people who are wrong always seem to talk louder than anybody else?
I will hold myself to the truth, and I expect everyone in this room to do the same.
A little levity today.
You know, the liberals, they thought, oh, look at this pretty girl, this pretty blonde girl. Look how cute she is. She must be stupid,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, this is our brand of levity.
And then she comes and flames them every single day. All right, Kenny.
Yeah, Vic.
Let's talk about Iran and what do they know or not know where our president stands. A little levity.
I think one thing President Trump is very good at is always keeping all of his options on the table, and airstrikes would be one of the many, many options that are on the table for the commander-in-chief. Diplomacy is always the first option for the president. He's told all of you last night that what you're hearing publicly from the Iranian regime is quite differently from the messages the administration is receiving privately, and I think the president has an interest in exploring those messages. However, with that said, the president has shown he's unafraid to use military options if and when he deems necessary, and nobody knows that better than Iran.
You know what? The people in Iran don't all of a sudden want to get rid of the Ayatollah. They all of a sudden don't want a life that's worth living. But now that they know that President Trump is here and he's on their side, they're getting more and more. They're protesting more and more.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, you remember life before the Ayatollah, back in the Shah of Iran days, right?
Yeah, when I got into college at Mizzou, we were protesting the new government, the theocracy, and then there were some Iranian students that came up and said, "No, you're going to love the theocracy." We're like, "Nuke Iran now!"
Really?
We were like really radical then.
Wow.
But yeah, that was a turning point in this country's history and theirs.
Okay, so let's switch over to Venezuela. And Kataline Levitt's talking about that President Trump definitely made the right decision on what to do in Venezuela. A little levity, Ken?
I think the last week has shown that the president made the right, realistic assessment of what needed to take place in Venezuela at this moment in time. And the interim authorities and Delcy Rodriguez and her team have been very cooperative with the United States and the president and his team, as evidenced by the massive energy deal that the president was able to cut with the interim authorities, their commitment to release Venezuelan political prisoners, which we also saw last week. So we've seen a great level of cooperation, and the president expects that to continue.
You know, the left kills me, the liberals, you know, the experts on social media. When people are rioting in Minneapolis, it's righteous. Right?
Yeah.
It's
it's righteous.
Do. And when people in when people in Venezuela, well, Iran too, but people in Venezuela celebrating that Maduro is not their president anymore, oh, that doesn't count. That doesn't mean anything.
No, because it's not in their bubble.
They're so stupid.
Yeah.
Okay. So, of course, there's always a worry that Iran and Hezbollah will infiltrate Venezuela little levity, Ken.
What practical steps would the White House like to see those interim authorities take to stop Iran and Hezbollah from operating in the country, and have those authorities done anything on that yet?
I think right now the main correspondence with the interim authorities is really focused on obviously ensuring stability and prosperity and continued cooperation with respect to energy. As you all know, there was a very powerful and big group of oil executives who were here at the White House on Friday, and so continuing to iron out some of these energy deals. We also have made it very clear, the president's made it very clear, that we don't want to see any more drug boats sailing from Venezuela towards the United States of America, which we have not, frankly, in the last week. President's also made it very clear that only oil tankers that are approved by the United States of America will be flowing from Venezuela, and we will continue to seize ships that are stateless or that are not approved for commerce by the...
You know, Vic, President Trump is doing everything that he said he was going to do and then some. Actually, more than what he said he was going to do to our favor. But all these presidents in the past, everything he's doing now, they all said that they were going to do, and none did anything about him.
Yeah. Did you know about a lot of the stuff before he came here, like Greenland? Did you realize that Greenland was a possibility as a strategic piece of land? Did you know that?
Not really.
I didn't either.
No.
So neither did the liberals who said, "Oh, Greenland! Why don't you leave Greenland alone?"
Yeah, no, and nobody knew really. I mean, it was like this, Vic. It was definitely a land between us and the enemy. We knew about that. That's about it. And when they say that, this thing happening right now is a creation of Donald Trump, this is going on. Greenland's been an object, apparently, from an administrative point in the United States since like the 1800s.
Right, but nobody talked about it.
No.
I'm 67 years old. I've never heard Denmark.
Me either.
Greenland as a strategic part of the world until President Trump. That's my point, you know?
Yep.
So Caroline Leavitt is talking about the benefits of taking over Greenland.
She's asking about Greenland, and I think the president was very clear last night. He said that he wants to see the United States acquire Greenland because he feels that if we do not, then it will eventually be acquired or even perhaps hostily taken over by either China or Russia, which is not a good thing for the United States or for Europe or for Greenland as well. Let's not forget, it would not just be in the best interest of the United States, but perhaps it would be in the best interest of Greenland as well to be part of the United States and protected by the United States. I can't even finish my answer. Everybody's screaming.
That's funny.
I know.
Can I tell you, there's no more demeaning job in the world than being one of those reporters that has to shout louder to get somebody's attention. That's not me, man. You want to talk to me? Let's talk. I'm not going to shout for your attention.
And Caroline Leavitt does not like that at all. When they do it, she almost just completely ignores them and turns the other way.
Well, she said, you're not even giving me time to answer the question.
Yeah, she started laughing. She thought it was funny.
I hate that. All right, one last one, and then we got to go. The ICE officer in Minneapolis that shot Good, justified in using force.
ICE is doing an incredibly important job that's not just important to our homeland security, but our national security. And this administration will continue to stand wholeheartedly by the brave men and women of ICE, including that officer in Minneapolis who was absolutely justified in using self-defense against a lunatic who was part of a group, an organized group, to interject and to impede on law enforcement operations. And it's disgusting what we have seen from the left. And I think that it just shows you where the modern-day Democrat Party stands today in protecting illegal alien pedophiles and rapists and murderers over law-abiding American citizens and our brave men and women who serve in law enforcement.
A little levity today.
And you know,
have a little levity.
I'm sorry, I was doing like he was still stuck. But remember, the left was like, the car didn't even hit him. The car didn't even hit him.
Yeah.
He got internal bleeding.
Nah.
I guess, yeah.
Didn't hit him. Come on.
It's crazy.
He was so angry that he ruptured his own insides.
Right. He went home and just shut the refrigerator with his hip.
Right.
That's what Fry said his injury was.
Really?
The same as just...
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, in a press conference. He says probably the same as just, closing the refrigerator with your hip.
Okay.
Uh-huh. All right, let's talk small business, the most important part of the American economy. Jonathan Heslop from Capriotti's and Rockwood Charcoal, two small businesses. He's next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
I could escape this feeling with my China girl. I feel a wreck without my little China girl.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. You're listening to The Vic Porcelli Show.
How dare you!
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL. News Talk STL.
Hey, looking for the ultimate escape? Well, welcome to Santino's, where luxury meets authenticity. Hey, Jamie Allman here, inviting you to browse hundreds of premium cigars in the walk-in humidor, including rare aged cigars, and explore 700 bottles of whiskey. And Santino's offers authentic Sicilian cuisine prepared from scratch. Whether it's their non-smoking wine room, gaming lounge with custom poker tables, or event spaces perfect for any celebration, it's Santino's, just off 55 at the Imperial exit, Santino'sCigarCocktails.com.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
Jim Talent, former U.S. Senator, did Pete Hegseth commit a war crime, in your opinion?
No. My only concern is that we're not getting enough drug boats. It's the first effective thing I can remember we've done to strike at these cartels, not only to take out particular shipments of drugs, but to deter others. And I'm not going to cry crocodile tears for any of them.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps. Weekdays at 4 on News Talk STL.
Hey, it's Susie Moore. If new flooring makes you think hassle, think again, because Michael's Flooring is changing the game. For over 30 years, Michael's has been locally owned and trusted for quality, variety, and amazing service. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, laminate, luxury vinyl, or ceramic tile, their expert team makes installing new floors exciting, not stressful. That's why customers keep coming back. Visit Michael's Flooring at St. Peters, Starting Prairie, Creve Coeur, or online at igotfloored.com. That's igotfloored.com.
Free speech is alive and well in America right here.
It's about time somebody stood up for true American values.
What this country needs is some backbone.
Finally, a president who wants to make real change.
101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor for all your roofing needs. Visit ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER Roofing.com.
Whoosh.
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019.
Hi, it's Dr. Ben Carson, and you're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show on News Talk STL.
Thank you, Dr. Carson. You know,
Nice contrast, isn't it?
What's
Dr.
that?
Carson and Crazy Train.
Yeah, I'm sure Ben rocks out to
I
Ozzy
bet he
at
does.
night. Yeah. I'm sorry. The vision I had was Dr. Ben Carson with Ozzy going real, but him singing real soft because he always talked
Right.
real soft.
I'm
you know?
Dr. Ben Carson.
Crazy.
I miss that guy.
I know.
Ozzy?
No, Ben Carson.
Oh, miss him just in not seeing him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's not around. You don't see him in the news anymore. I thought he was good when he was in the scene.
Yeah, he's back doing brain surgery and stuff. I mean, the left always made fun of him, remember?
Yeah.
They thought he was stupid. So listen, every Wednesday, Vic and Ken, that's me and him, will honor a different veteran every Wednesday at 11:05. So if you have a veteran, you know a veteran, please send us his name and rank, the branch of service. If you also want to put in the battalion, platoon, that kind of stuff, date of service, any medals or awards, or just tell us how good of a softball player he was. It doesn't matter. Just let us know about him and send that all to Ken at NewstalkSTL.com. And we couldn't do it without the great support of Alamo Military Collectibles, Heroes Care, and Gemini Wealth Group. All right, so that voice you heard there that you don't normally hear every day from 9 to noon was Jonathan Heslop. Hi, John.
What's going on?
How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Good to see you guys again.
Yeah, it's always great to see you. So I just wanted to, small business, I think, is the real heart and soul of of the economy of this country. I was going to say any country, but this country specifically. It's COVID, right? All that stuff. You must have felt a pinch, right?
Oh, absolutely. And
But you
every
hung in
business
there.
starts as a small business. That's the thing. You don't get to be a big business. Even Walmart started out as a small business.
True.
And with the way that this government treats small business, especially this county, it's hard to get into.
Yeah.
And you said back summer of 2020. Well, back then, yeah, I was secretly bagging charcoal in my warehouse to ship out because it was kind of leery whether or not we were an essential business or not. But yet you could go down the street to Walmart and shop there. You could go to you could go to Home Depot, you could go to Menards, you could go to those places, but all small businesses were shut down for safety reasons. Even though it was only me and my boys that lived together, we were not supposed to be in there working.
Yeah, I went to, I got some benefit. You know, they gave money. They were throwing money at everybody every single week.
Oh, yeah.
And I took it for a couple of weeks, and I was like, something's wrong here. So I got a job. I got a job at Home Depot, and I worked there for about a year. But during that time, we could work there, and we had to check in and do all kinds of stuff to get into the building. But Ace Hardware, for example, they couldn't even be open.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's one of the things right there. But luckily that all went away. And the hypocrisy on that came out, but what other ideas? Yeah, what other questions? I mean, that was one of the biggest things. Right now, I mean, insurance rates are skyrocketing. That's gone up. Luckily, fuel prices have gone down. Unfortunately, the shipping costs have not gone down with them. So as we heard for all these years that price of diesel, whatever. Well, it's come back down now, and the shipping rates have not come down. So that's a little bit.
So what happens with that? I mean, that's a big lift to try and get that to go down.
You just can't absorb it. You pass it along to the customer. I mean, and that's the bad thing about it. But it's kind of like the end of last year on let's talk about the restaurant. So on any restaurant, most of them we operated on 13 periods a year rather than 12 months. That's what we do, 28 days. That's how you look back and look at your profit and loss, that kind of thing. So that 13th month is kind of like the one where, that month where you get a couple extra pay or you get an extra paycheck or whatever. That 13th month, that's like the bonus one at the very end. Well, it's always not the best because that's the month where you got to pay your personal property tax, your business personal property tax.
Yeah, I was going to get into that.
And everything. Did you want to tee it up or
finish it up?
Have it at it? Okay, so everything in here that you're looking in this studio is taxed. I mean, even the stapler on the desk here, we should be paying tax on. At the restaurant, my spatulas, my grill, my oven, everything in there that I use to make money to generate sales tax to hopefully make a profit, which I'm going to pay income tax on. But that oven or that grill, that spatula, I had to pay sales tax on that already. So I've already paid the 9% to get it in there. And then, I looked at it last year, a little bit of show prep. It roughly worked out that it was the first year. So everything's taxed at the max rate. It'll depreciate at 5%, 7%, maybe some of it's at 100%. It doesn't matter. I'm sorry, depreciation of 5 years, 7 years, some of it's 1 year, whatever the case. It was about 3% of what my initial cost of the equipment. So I'd already paid 9% in sales tax. Now I had to pay another 3% on top of that. This year, maybe it'll be down to like 2.5 because it's depreciated some more. I don't know. I'll just get a bill at the end of the year.
Let me tell you something. When we moved to St. Louis and somebody was trying to explain the personal property tax to us, I was like, oh, we already own the car. We already paid tax on the car. What are you talking about? So, and I totally am sympathetic to what you said, that you are buying things like kitchen things, ovens, spatulas, meat, I guess, too, right? And you have to pay a personal property tax on things that you hope will make you money, but the person that's not in business, they don't even get to make money on it later. You know what I mean? They just pay the personal property tax on stuff, and it's I don't know.
Yeah, and it's not anything that we just absorb. No, we pass it on to the customer. So if you've got somebody that says, I don't own a business, whatever. No, they're paying personal property taxes for me. I mean, we've got to build it into the food cost.
You have to. I mean, there's no choice.
I mean, in December, we didn't make money. We broke even though it was a killer month for catering and that kind of thing. We didn't make money because I had to pay the personal property tax at the end of the month. Now you amortize it over the year. You're supposed to do that, but whatever the case, it's this state has a spending problem. It's not a problem about revenue because Bill Eigel, when his thing on personal property tax, he told us it was about $1.5 billion is what the state brings in revenue from personal property taxes for individuals with their cars, their boats, that kind of thing like that, and then for businesses, basically everything. It's about $1.5 billion the state brings in. In 2015, do you know what the budget was, the state of Missouri? It was about $26 billion. Last year, it was $52 billion. So the state budget has doubled in the last 10 years. It's gone up $25 billion. But they could figure out how to spend that, but they couldn't figure out how to carve out 1.5 and save $1.5 billion to take this ridiculous tax away from the people of the state of Missouri. And this, guys, this was with 9 of those 10 years with a Republican governor and a Republican supermajority.
See, when you put it that way,
what's wrong
Vic,
with that?
When you put it that way, Vic, it doesn't even make sense.
It does, and that's why businesses are not coming to this state. You know, you got people going to Texas, going to Tennessee, leaving for Florida.
Oh, we've talked about this before. I go down to Louisville or Nashville.
Yeah,
there's nothing but cranes in the cities. I mean,
huge.
everywhere.
Because they don't have this oppression on businesses down there. And people are going to go there. They don't have all the ridiculous taxes and the ridiculous municipalities around here. Okay, so my business in Eureka, the charcoal company, I pay $25 a year for my business license out there. Just renewed it the other day. For Creve Coeur, my new restaurant, I pay $50 for my business license. In Rock Hill last year, I paid $1,200 for my business license.
What's going on with that?
So when you have a company that wants to come in, a big company that's going to bring this state a lot of money, and they come into this state and they look at, especially St. Louis County, we want to build 8 locations. We want to put one here, 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 and here. Every one of those spots has a different set of rules when it comes down to their fire department, their fire code, and all this different stuff. And they want to build the exact same coffee stand or their exact same gas station, whatever it is. The new thing is you build these in a factory, and you bring them out. The walls are already done, and you plop them up or whatever. It's not like us where we go in and build a specific restaurant for the space anymore. So they come in and their eyes bug out when they see this state and especially this county with all the different rules when it comes to building and that all the different fees and everything else, and they run away. So that's something, getting rid of this, the personal property tax, and I'm not talking city-county merger, but getting rid of all the little excessive taxes of these small municipalities is what's hurting this county.
You know, Governor Kehoe, I'm actually pleased to watch his trajectory because, first of all, they called him Tax Hike Mike. Remember?
I remember.
Raise the taxes. And he got, this is the good news, I think. He got elected. I don't think he spent much money at all because, you know, he didn't go to too many places and do too many campaign stops, but yet he won. So maybe he's like, well, if I didn't spend a whole lot of money winning the governorship, maybe we can run the state with less money.
Absolutely.
I don't know if there's some kind of strategy there or not.
Yeah, I hope so. And this announcement that he's guiding the legislation to get rid of income taxes in this state, that would be huge.
Oh,
businesses would flock to this state because the executives who make a lot of money say, oh, I don't have to pay sales taxes.
Right.
But getting rid of that or getting rid of the personal property tax in this state, I think suddenly also you would have an influx of the amount of boats and cars and everything else that people register in other states.
Yeah, you would.
You know, they're already people. You got a brother-in-law in Illinois. Well, that's where your boat is. You know, if you got a business that you can register in South Dakota, that's where your car is. So people do that to avoid the taxes, and then the state loses out on the registration and the insurance and everything else that would generate sales tax and generate other revenue for this state. So it would come back.
All of your companies are in St. Louis County, right? Capriotti's, the charcoal, it's all St. Louis County.
Most of it, yes.
So when you hear $80 million deficit
unbelievable
in the county budget, just for a county, I mean, that's such a big number for a county. At least Sam Page is going away, and we can get somebody in there to do some more fiscally smart things.
$80 million, yet they want to build a new county building, a new county headquarters in Clayton for the tune of, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
What was it? It was
like $400 million or something.
It was
a
nuts.
Crazy number.
It was an astronomical number that I can't even remember.
We didn't need this logo change either. That old logo was so great.
The one that looks like it was done on the spirograph. Yes,
yeah,
the amount of money that they spent on it.
What
well, guys, too, you look. Yes, my business, the charcoal business. I own our warehouse in Eureka, so I pay I pay property taxes on that building. The property taxes I pay on that building are higher. With what goes to the school district are higher than what I pay with my house in Jefferson County. For my kids to go, they would be in a different school district. Do you think I can send my kids into St. Louis County for a school district, even though I pay a bunch of taxes there? No.
No.
Do you think I can go to the Eureka Rec Center or anything for free? No. I mean, it's about where you live. So, I go back and add up what I've spent on the St. Louis County Library. I've never stepped foot in there. It used to be in a old Blockbuster Video in Eureka, and then they built this gigantic new library out in Eureka. It's beautiful. But then we had to close a fire station that was close to my house because they don't have enough money. So why are we sending money to the library, but we can't send it over to the fire station? I don't get that.
So how do we fix that?
It's going to take a lot of people, and that's what scares me, is that we've got a Republican governor and a Republican supermajority for 9 of the 10 years, and they didn't fix it yet. Now, with Governor Kehoe going out there and setting that standard, I mean, telling the legislation, this is what I want done, that is huge. Governor Parson never did that.
Yeah.
They never saw the guy.
I forgot who our governor's name was when Parson was.
Yeah,
governor.
you're right. You're right, Vic.
Governor Parson, it's super nice guy.
Yeah,
I've met him many times. He's just everybody's grandpa. He's a great guy, but he did not lead the legislation. He didn't go out there and tell them this is what we're going to do.
The good news, John.
Governor Kehoe seems to be doing it.
The good news, Nick Schroer, Tim Jones, they're both very, very optimistic about this legislation.
I'm excited. I am so excited about it.
And on the west coast of Missouri, we actually talked with Joe Nicoli.
I heard it the other morning, yes.
Yeah, and he's fired up just like they are.
Yeah,
So.
I heard it the other morning, and we've got a great lieutenant governor in there as well. He's fantastic. A St. Louis boy. I mean, I've met him a few times. I like him a lot, and he's not a politician.
Yep. All right, so can we talk a little bit about your sandwich place? Can we talk about
Of course. I didn't bring any. I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine. Right. Don't worry about us. We'll starve to death. We're fine.
The capastrami?
I've changed my favorite.
Really?
From the oh my God, what's it called? French dip.
I remember.
Which I still love.
Yeah.
To the cold roast beef, and it's all your fault because you brought us a tray. We were doing something with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, what is this? And it was Tony. Tony goes, it's cold roast beef. I was like, oh, cold roast beef. That's not my new favorite.
Yeah, it's the same beef that was on the French dip. We just don't cook. But that is Wagyu roast beef from Snake River Farms.
Wow.
It is ungodly expensive. I cry every time I get the bill for it. But it is delicious. Yeah.
Sure
so I like it better cold than I do cooked. Yeah, it's fantastic.
There's just something about a Capriotti sandwich though. It's just so different. It's just nice.
That's how I knew it was going to be successful here. Is that we've got a lot of great sandwich shops here in this town. I love them all, and I didn't want to come back. I didn't want to come in here with something that was going to be the same. It was going to be something that was very different. That capastrami that you like, Ken. I mean, there isn't anything like that. I have never seen that sandwich duplicated anywhere.
Right? No. Mm-mm.
And Rockwood charcoal going well?
Yeah, it's kind of the dead time of year. Not too many people out cooking right now, except the people that use our charcoal. They're 24/7 guys. They're always out cooking, but it definitely does slow down a little bit.
Grill it in the middle with snow all around them.
Absolutely,
Die-hard grillers.
It does. People are out there, but it does slow down definitely this time of year.
How about the Platinum Rock Legends band? Let's talk about that for a second.
So we've got a show Saturday night at Cyberg's in off of Dorset. And then, but the night before, we're also going to be there with the offshoot band, or the new project called Headliner. It's more 90s music. It's not the full-blown impersonations. It's not us in the costumes doing all the silly stuff that we do at the PRL shows. But, that'll be, so Friday and Saturday night, 9 p.m. to 1 a.m., both nights, is going to be at Cyberg's Dorset.
And what do you play?
I've got a guitar that I use to control different aspects of the production.
Oh, cool.
The lights and stuff?
Yeah, all that stuff.
Oh, that's
son
different.
Does that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Well, my son plays at the piano bar. He's doing the music and the lights at the same time, playing piano.
Yep, you can do it. Yep, program with the MIDI.
John Heslop, thank you so much, man. We always love seeing you.
Guys, great to see you. Thanks you so
Jonathan.
much.
And go eat at Capriotti's, will you?
What happens next?
Nicolas Maduro had multiple opportunities to avoid this.
Happens right here.
We will secure our borders. We will stop the terrorists. We will crash the cartels.
101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Hey, it's Susie Moore with a reminder that for 20 years, Harpo's Chesterfield has been the heart of West County's fun. With their award-winning patio, voted best in West County, and excellent sports bar atmosphere, Harpo's is your one-stop destination. The mouth-watering menu has made them famous throughout St. Louis. Plus, they've got great drink specials and the friendliest, most energetic staff around. Whether you're dining in or carrying out, Harpo's delivers fun, food, and drinks like no one else. Harpo's Chesterfield. Call 636-537-1970 or visit harposstl.com.
Concerned about the condition of your windows driving up your energy bills? I was too. It's only called STL Windows and Doors. Call today for your free in-home estimate and start saving tomorrow. 314-277-5952 or stlwindowsanddoors.com.
This holiday season, bring the taste of Italy into your home. At DiGregorio's, we've been helping St. Louis families celebrate around the table for over 50 years. From imported wines, olive oils, and cheeses to gourmet pastas, sauces, and specialty holiday favorites like panettone and torrone. Our Italian gift baskets make the season easy and unforgettable. You'll find everything you need to make the holidays special. Experience a little bit of Italy right here in St. Louis. DiGregorio's Italian Market. Visit us at DiGregorioFoods.com.
I'm Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway. When severe weather hits, scammers often follow. They may pose as charities, jack up prices on essentials, or offer fraudulent home repairs. I'm committed to protecting Missourians from those scams. If you've been targeted or suspect price gouging, report it to our office at 800-392-8222 or online at ago.mo.gov.
Paid for by the Missouri Attorney General's Office.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewstalkSTL.com.
Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. American forces in the Caribbean Sea have seized another sanctioned oil tanker the Trump administration says has ties to Venezuela. The president threatens to invoke the Insurrection Act in response to the violent unrest in Minnesota.
As protests against ICE officers in Minneapolis continue, the president said he may have to deploy the U.S. military or federalize the National Guard for domestic law enforcement. In a social media post, he referred to protesters as insurrectionists and ICE agents as patriots. The Insurrection Act is a rarely used federal law, but the president threatened its use after a federal officer shot and wounded a man who had attacked the officer with a shovel. Greg Clugston, Washington.
An appeals court has struck down a lower court's decision that freed pro-Palestinian activist Mahmoud Halil from immigration detention. State Department planning to suspend the processing of immigrant visas for citizens from 75 countries whose nationals considered likely to require public aid while living in the U.S.
State officials say they instructed consular officers to halt immigrant visa applications from the countries affected. Officials say they did this in accordance with a broader order issued in November that tightened rules around potential immigrants who might become public charges in the U.S. But the suspension won't apply to applicants seeking non-immigrant or temporary tourist or business visas. The suspension of visas begins January 21st.
Correspondent Andrew Stewart. Word of a new round of U.S. sanctions on Iranian officials accused in the violent crackdown on anti-regime protesters in Iran. Federal prosecutors in Philadelphia have charged 20 people, including 15 former NCAA players, in an alleged scheme to fix basketball games. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 331 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-893-2288. That's 800-893-2288.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Rodney and Jen Woolner and the entire Woolner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway. Call them today at 314-810-SOLD. 314-810-SOLD. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Meteorologist Chance Koch with your first alert forecast, tracking mostly sunny skies with highs into the mid-30s. Overnight light snow expected, anywhere from a dusting to half of an inch. Then into Friday, 44. Could see once again the potential for dusting to half of an inch. That'll start to phase out into Saturday and Sunday, where temperatures continue to cool. Feels like temperatures into the single digits Saturday morning. By Sunday morning, could be below that 0-degree mark for the wind chill. From the first alert for Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Chance Koch.
Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand.
every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so, he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
All right, hour number 2 ready to roll. When the mics were off, Ken was like, God, the show's going by so fast.
Flying, man.
Maybe we need 4 hours.
Yeah.
Porcelli's Deli, 1025 today is all about the Grateful Dead. Bob Weir passed away earlier in the week, so we got to talk about some Grateful Dead. And Nick Shirley's unbelievable journalism at the bottom of the hour. Right now, though, it's time for Nate.
Let's talk to Nate Lucas. The communications director for U.S. Representative Eric Burlison.
How much has changed in this free country since 9/11? Now, I'm getting ready to go get touched by a TSA agent. It's the most action I've gotten in years.
Good morning, Nate Lucas. How are you, baby?
Hey, good morning, Vic and Ken. I will definitely be sticking around to hear the Porcelli's Deli on Bob Weir and the Grateful Dead.
Appreciate that. Bob was, he was pretty good,
Yeah.
All right, so.
Just unbelievable music.
Eric Burlison, your boss, Representative Eric Burlison, he's on the Oversight Committee, isn't he?
He is, yes.
So what are his thoughts on Bill and Hillary both skipping out?
Well, the elite political class flexing their muscles, and now we'll see if the House wants to use their power to fight back. And what they need to do is hold them in contempt, as we've seen Democrats do time and time again, and they act like they're above the rule of law. So what Congress can do right now is hold a vote on the House floor to hold Hillary and Bill in contempt of Congress. And should that pass, they can recommend criminal charges to the Department of Justice. And then you would hope that Pam Bondi and the attorney, everybody comes through and they actually hold them in contempt. But I don't have a whole lot of faith that that process is going to be played out. We heard Chairman Comer yesterday say that this is what has to be done. Speaker Mike Johnson came out and gave it a thumbs up and said, yes, absolutely. But until I see it, it's all fluff until it actually comes to fruition.
Nate and Vic, I tried to put myself ahead of this. Like after they did what we're talking about here, they're going to take advantage of this. They're gonna get a subpoena or whatever they're going to get, and then they're going to say, "See what they're doing to us. See what they're doing to me and Bill." And I'm talking about Hillary, of course. They're going to use this against the Trump administration in some fashion.
They very well could.
Victim.
I mean, Democrats will never let a crisis go to waste. We know that quite well. And they will try to play the double standard card and say, well, President Trump has used his executive privilege to avoid depositions, this, that, and the other. And so we'll see how it all plays out. I mean, everyone has their own strategy, but there's no the one thing you can't deny is the fact that Bill and Hillary Clinton were subpoenaed by the Oversight Committee to come testify about their long-standing relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, their documented travel to Epstein Island, Jeffrey Epstein's own claims that he was an architect of setting up the Clinton Foundation, which is riddled with fraud. And so, the American people should get answers directly from the horse's mouth on both of those topics. And if Bill and Hillary Clinton are too afraid to come talk to Congress and they want to rather protect a pedophile, tells you a lot about those two, and it'll say a lot about Democrats who I can tell you will almost without a question vote against holding them in contempt of Congress. So they will do their best to cover it up as well. It's just embarrassing for their party that they do this constantly.
All right, let's play a little game called One of These Things Is Not Like the Other Thing, okay? Peter Navarro, Steve Bannon, Eric Holder. What's different?
I guess two of them are Trump appointees, and Eric Holder was an Obama appointee.
And
so,
the Trump appointees went to jail. Eric Holder did not. And Eric Holder, by the way, He called himself Obama's wingman, right? Now, I thought the president and DOJ are supposed to be completely autonomous from each other.
Well, yeah, that would
Good
actually
points,
be
Nate.
healthy if it were the case. But the truth is we haven't seen that under Republican or Democratic leadership for a long time, which is very unfortunate. It's part of why people just don't trust the Justice Department anymore, because they are not a separate entity. They seem to be getting direct orders from the administration. But if that's the game the Democrats are going to play, then it would be foolish for Republicans not to meet them there. And that's just the broken element of our government. But let's not forget, too, that they put Peter Navarro in leg shackles.
Right.
They went through ruthless tasks to make this as visible as possible, to publicly humiliate them and try them in through the public television lens rather than actually giving them their day in court. And again, if we want to look at what Peter Navarro did versus what the Clintons have done, I think we're talking about very different elements of criminal behavior.
Yeah. And, you mentioned something there. You said, Pete, we can't trust the DOJ. Funny thing is the Democrats and the liberals can always trust the DOJ when it's their president, right?
Oh, yeah.
They totally trusted Merrick Garland.
Oh, yeah, of course they did. And Merrick Garland was a complete disgrace. We all know what his vendetta was when he felt betrayed by Republicans after they didn't hold a vote when he was nominated for the Supreme Court by Obama. And so I think he held like a pretty large vendetta to go back against. We know what they did against Catholic parents, school boards. I mean, Merrick Garland's one of the most grotesque individuals that's ever held an official position within the United States government.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't trust him. I didn't trust him, and I don't trust Pam Bondi. See, that's what I'm saying. When you're a Republican or conservative, you have to say, oh, okay, here's our Pam Bondi, please do something. But the Democrats never have to do that because Merrick Garland was always going after conservatives.
And I don't know about you, but I'm just sick and tired of playing this game where we can't meet them with their level of intent and what they actually follow through with. And that's why it's just so sickening for so many people who bought in to Trump in particular in his messaging to drain the swamp and go after the administrative state. I'll give you two real-life examples yesterday. So there were two votes on the House floor, two amendments. One was presented by Chip Roy, and that would have cut the funding to rogue judges like Boasberg and cut his funding for his staff. And you had 46 Republicans side with every Democrat to shoot that amendment down. Then Rep. Eli Crane from Arizona, he had an amendment that simply would have defunded the National Endowment for Democracy, which is essentially a regime change slush fund, so we can sort of shadowy go into other countries and push, what we claim is democracy or what they claim is democracy, even though it's been heavily exposed by people like Elon Musk and Mike Benz and many high-profile influencers. And 81 Republicans voted against the amendment to defund the National Endowment Democracy. I mean, it's just like, so whose side are they on? And every single person should go look at those votes and look at the people who have the R in the parentheses next to their name. And then when it's time to boot them out of Congress, that should be a no-brainer because these people are not fighting for you. They are not fighting to drain the swamp. And this is why the administrative state never shrinks, because the uniparty does what it's going to do. And it's just BS. I'm sick and tired of it.
Well, Vic always talks about, was it Occam's razor, right? Sometimes the simplest answer is the answer. And I mean, I'm paraphrasing. I don't know the exact term, but it makes sense. We never pay attention to that idea that the Republicans, maybe they're putting wrenches in the works here for a reason too. And some of these Republicans, I still believe in. There are a lot of people who don't, but Nate, I believe in the uniparty. There is a uniparty out there that they do not have any allegiances to either party or the American people. Their allegiance is to the globalists and themselves.
I completely agree with you, and I think there's no clear indication of the uniparty than the Senate, and not to just completely, shed any issue with the House of Representatives, but the House of Representatives is 435 individuals. They have a slim margin in terms of the Republican majority, and yet they have passed things. Let's just look at one bill. They passed the SAVE Act, which would require federal elections. You would have to provide voter identification and, prove that you're a citizen, and it would clean up the census and kick illegals off of those rolls, and it could truly change the dynamic of the voting procedure in America. And it gets to the Senate, and they won't even take it up. They refuse to even take the measure up on the floor. And so they hide behind, we can't get 60 votes. Well, you know what? Let's have a recorded vote. Put your vote on the line and make it public, and then we can decide. But at least bring it up for a vote.
Yeah. Nate Lucas is the communications director for U.S. Representative Eric Burlison. So I'd love to get your and your boss's take on the Secret Service agent giving up J.D. Vance's locations to somebody who turned out to be working for James O'Keefe.
Well, I will tell you that I think that the Secret Service, by and large, there has been leadership changes, but that is sort of a microcosm of how deep these issues go within these agencies. So a Secret Service, no different than the FBI, no different than the CIA, the National Department of Intelligence. I mean, like all of these agencies, when you hear rhetoric like they need a complete purge, that's not just like, oh, here's a good idea, we should purge it. You can change the leadership, but the people who are entrenched in the bureaucracy of these agencies, those are the ones who are really pulling the strings. Like anyone knows that from any business or entity that they're involved with. Like, sure, you have a CEO, but who are the people doing the day-to-day work that are actually making the company worthwhile? And so when you look at, say, the Secret Service, you can have a new Secret Service director, but how do you know that your agents aren't going rogue and doing things to undermine the safety of, in this particular case, the Vice President of the United States? It's almost impossible. So when you hear things like we need a complete purge and start from the bottom up and get new people into all these critical positions, that's a huge. Those are huge undertakings. Like whoever is able to accomplish that will do great harm to the people that actually want to do harm to the United States. But I mean, how sick do you have to be? If you swear an oath to protect an individual, and the oath that they, is to give up their own life to protect the ones that they are there to provide security for, that individual, not only should they not be a Secret Service agent, but it seems like there should be criminal charges coming their way, and they should be doing deep investigations to anyone that might have been a friend or anyone who was aligned in however that security flaw was, how that was allowed to happen.
This guy hated Trump, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder how deep all that goes in the Secret Service.
Yeah.
And then you got to think back to Butler and what happened there. Oh, good, they shot him.
And per our conversation we just had about Republican versus Democrat, this is MAGA we're talking about, and it's almost like a foregone conclusion that J.D. Vance could be the next president of the United States. So what are they going to? What does the left want to do? They want to stop this now.
But you have to understand that this is not just a one-off. And I think that you have two very different views of political parties. You have the left, which is openly going after ICE agents, openly trying to run them over, openly trying to kill law enforcement, openly shooting influencers like Charlie Kirk, and they feel invincible. Whereas on the right, it's like I would find it very hard to believe that even if a Secret Service agent was MAGA, that they would be sinister enough to allow or attempt to have, the protectee murdered.
Yeah.
There's two very different games that are being played right now. And that is the left in a nutshell, is that they are going for the jugular. They don't care if you die. They are actually hoping that you die. And they are in such a tailspin that I don't know how you dig these people out of the derangement syndrome that they have. I think it goes far beyond Trump derangement syndrome at this point, because when they're taking out actions that actually kill anyone who is now a supporter of Donald Trump or law enforcement who's just doing the duty that is necessary because they flooded the country with 20 million illegal aliens. Like, how do you hold civility with individuals like that? I don't know how to get them back on track.
All right, a couple of things I want to squeeze in here, Nate, and we only got a little bit of time left. Do you remember I told you about a movie called Wag the Dog?
Mm-hmm.
I watched it again last night, and it's on Amazon. You can rent it for $3.99, I think, or something like that. And just a quick premise of the movie: the President of the United States has been hit with sexual assault charges because he sexually assaulted what they call fly girl in the movie. So now they have to distract the country from that. So they create a war that never happened. It's in Albania. And, oh, yeah, this president is saving us from Albanian terrorists. And there's one guy who they left behind. His name is Schumann, and his nickname was Old Shoe, right? And they actually record a song called Old Shoe, Willie Nelson and, a very famous soul singer. And they do the song. They even make it sound old and scratchy, and they put it in the Library of Congress record collection. And somebody thought, oh, look, here's a song. Let's dedicate it to Old Shoe. And people wore shirts that say Old Shoe. And then people would throw their shoes up on the telephone lines.
Oh, my.
All to distract from the sexual assault charge. And by the end of the movie, it works. And he gets this all happens 11 days before Election Day. Watch it, Nate, and you'll get a completely different look on more devious the government is than you have even ever thought.
I know, and I think for a lot of people that hear this and they think that your government would have enough good intention to not be as sinister as that. I don't think we're in that government anymore. I think we've left that station. And they will do anything to cover up their crimes. And if it means deceiving the American people or even doing something as egregious as starting a war to hide their own criminal behavior, I wouldn't put it past them. I genuinely think that is on the table, and more people need to wake up to that reality.
We're at a flashpoint right now, Nate, because you said that we're playing a different game than they are. Okay, so with that in mind, what do we do on the right? What game are we supposed to be playing here? Because we're not going to win this way.
Well, it would start with, how about, what have we done with Antifa other than put mean tweets out and designate them as a terror organization? Have you seen any Antifa people mass arrests of Antifa?
No,
I haven't.
No.
Have you seen any mass arrests of Tren de Agua around every single major metropolitan city in America? I haven't. So why don't the Department of Justice, as far as I'm concerned, in 1 year under Trump's administration, and let me make this very clear, this is my opinion, has been an F. I give it a total F. And the American people don't have time to give out report cards. We need action. And so that means that Pam Bondi and her entire department needs to get on the ball and start, because it's really about protecting Americans at this point. And if we're not going to go to the full extent to do that, then what trust should American voters have in the Republican Party or anyone that they elect going forward? It's you can't run on something like safety for Americans and then just put out mean tweets. I think that day and age is long, long gone.
And I just want to be clear, they didn't start a war. They said there was a war that wasn't even a war, with a movie director and producer, and they even made this girl run through what looks like is a war-torn city, and it's not. They just made it in a studio. So there was no war. They created a war in your mind.
Kind of like Biden administration, J6 and all that. That was a movie of bad production. We always said it was a bad B-movie production.
Right. It's too
Didn't Charles Jaco once sit in a green screen in front of
Saudi
a green
Arabia?
screen?
Yes, he did, Nate. You're right.
You're right.
Yes, he did. All right, so we're out of time here. Just one quick thing. I noticed this recently. When a quarterback's going to throw a pass, right, and he's got both hands on the ball, and then right before he passes it, he taps that ball one more time before he throws it. Is that a rule, a law? You got to do that? Why do they all do that?
Wait, he double taps the pass?
Yeah, like he'll have the ball in his hand, two hands.
He's holding it up by his ready to throw it.
Ready to throw, and then he'll put his arm back a little bit, and then he taps the ball right before he throws it. Everybody does it. Every quarterback does it. You watch it, report your findings.
I'm going to have to keep an eye on that. Yeah, this weekend, a lot of NFL playoffs. I will keep an eye on that, and I will see if what I can dig up for you next week.
It's just a stupid Vic thing.
No, but Vic, it makes sense though, because you know what? You ever see a singer how they take their hand and they tap the microphone while they're singing?
Right.
It's kind of like that, I think.
Let me tell you what I've seen you do.
What?
Ken Williams.
What?
When you throw it, right before you throw it, you tap the ball in your glove and then throw it.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's not.
Well, it could be. I'm just thinking out loud here, but it could be kind of like a crow hop for a baseball player before they throw the ball to first.
Okay.
It's sort of like one last good grip that they're getting to secure the strength of the throw.
Take a look at it. We'll talk about it next week.
All right, y'all.
Thanks.
See you, Nate.
Bye.
Nate
See ya.
Lucas, Communications Director for Representative Eric. Oh, my God. We'll be right back.
Follow us on Rumble at NewstalkSTL. Vic and Ken.
They don't know what the they're doing.
The Vic Porcelli Show on 101.9 and 94.1 NewstalkSTL.
Great to see Chris Cooper yesterday from Serenity Wealth Management here with us for a while. And I asked him the question that every fan of Trading Places has asked. What the heck happens at the end there when they make all the money and put the Dukes in the poorhouse? Because I don't understand finances at all. Chris laid it out and told us perfectly what happens, and I still don't understand. But Chris gave it a go, man. It's tough to talk. It's hard to get through the denseness of me and that and money and finances and stuff. But that's why you turn to Chris Cooper at Serenity Wealth Management, right? Because he's a good guy. He's a fun guy. And you will understand more about tax-efficient solutions than you ever knew before. And by the way, he just throws them out like a dealer dealing cards, man.
Yeah.
Here's a concept, here's another one, and he'll help you. He'll help you get the retirement that you deserve. Those are his words, and I love those words. So what do? First of all, we go visit Serenity Wealth Management or listen to the radio show, not or, and, do both. Serenity Wealth Now.
Serenity Wealth Now, Fun with Finance.
Oh, be damned.
Is the subtitle.
And the new Holistic Retirement is Chris's new book. You can get it for free at SerenityNowTax.com. That's SerenityNowTax.com. Serenity Now with Chris Cooper.
Investment advice offered through Fortis Capital Advisors.
Serenity now! Hey, folks, Jamie Allman here for Newsteader's Fine Jewelry right there at Doherty Ferry and Big Bend. WowDiamonds.com. It's Wow Diamonds for a reason. These are beautiful lab-grown diamonds. They are gorgeous. They will blind you when you walk in and see them, but that's a good thing. Great engagement sets, wedding sets, all these beautiful God-created gems, sapphires, rubies, you name it, garnets, and also all the gold you need, and the famous bull of a watch, WowDiamonds.com.
When it comes to heating, cooling, and refrigeration, trust the family that's been keeping St. Peters comfortable since 1974. Hey, it's Susie Moore, and DL Pranger HVAC is small enough to care, experienced enough to deliver. Got a competitor's bid? They'll beat it by 20%, guarantee. From home HVAC to commercial refrigeration, beer caves to restaurant coolers, DL Pranger does it all. Licensed, insured, and 100% customer satisfaction guaranteed. Call 314-640-9617 or find them on Facebook. That's 314-640-9617.
Ever feel like just a number in a waiting room? Hi, I'm Shannon Tribune, Director of Operations with Body of Health Direct Primary Care. Navigating the medical system can be a maze of stress. I'm your personal guide at Body of Health. I handle the messy parts of medical care, the logistics and complex coordination both in and outside our walls, so you and Dr. Tobler, that's my dad, can focus on what matters most, your health. At Body of Health, you're not just a patient, you're part of the family, because that's healthcare the way it ought to be. To learn more, schedule a discovery call at bodyofhealth.com.
News Talk STL. Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
President Trump said he'll take very strong action if Iran hangs protesters. Steve Bucci will tell us if he thinks that means total obliteration for the regime at 420.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps. Weekdays at 4 on News Talk STL. Welcome to Porcelli's Deli.
Yes, very good. I'll have a Bloody Mary and a steak sandwich and a steak sandwich, please.
Come over here.
Ketchup. Where's the ketchup at? I bet the Chinese food here is terrible.
With Vic Porcelli.
He's a very strange young man.
He's an idiot.
Porcelli's Deli is moved to 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Come on in. We're open. Have a seat. Vic will tell you a story.
All right, come on into Porcelli's Deli. We got to talk a little bit of sad news. And that was earlier in the week when we found out that Bob Weir from the Grateful Dead passed away at the age of 78. And Bob Weir started his first band when he was 17 years old. Bob Weir is one of those guys I think about a lot that never had a job. Just played music his whole life. Made good money just playing music.
It was his passion. Real quick, gotta give props to my guitar player back in the day, Mike McLaughlin. He was amazing, Vic. But he had such a passion for guitar. He's like, I don't need to work anywhere else. I'm either gonna play guitar and making no money, or I'll make some money. And fortunately for him, he's in Taiwan as a studio musician. But
well, I'm glad the story took that turn and not the story that Mike passed away. I just wanted
No.
You know what I mean?
No,
I was like,
I know.
oh my God, please don't tell me this guy's dead. But it was the passion.
The passion, yeah.
I mean, my son too. I mean, he.
Oh, Chris, yeah.
He's been playing piano since he was 6,
and that's it.
And that's all he's done. So that was his dream. So Bob Weir, and the Grateful Dead. He joined. I think he was 19 years old. Jerry Garcia and he, kind of the two main songwriters. And he was born in Philadelphia, and the Grateful Dead were such a, I don't want to say an enigma. Well, they were a bit of an enigma, because they never had a playlist. You know how like a set list, I mean. When you had your band, didn't you have a set list?
Oh, yeah.
On stage, on the ground, right?
Sure.
Taped to the ground. Well, they didn't. They just do whatever.
Oh, that's great.
And what do you want to do? You know what? Let's do Johnny Be Good.
Let's
and they
go.
do Johnny Be Good on one of their live albums,
Yeah.
And the people that follow the Grateful Dead, the Deadheads. Okay, I just want to say I was not heavily into the Grateful Dead. I'm not heavily into them at all. But I do love Truckin'. I like Uncle John's Band. I like Touch of Grey, which came out in 1987, turned out to be their biggest top 40 hit, just about the time when I was getting a little touch of gray in my hair. And they were just fun, And the things about Deadheads and a Grateful Dead concert, the smell of patchouli oil.
Patchouli, yeah.
And the other thing is people walking around with a finger up. They just need one ticket.
One. Yeah.
Everywhere,
yeah.
At least 100 people you'll see before you go into the stadium. One. So I got to see the Grateful Dead only one time at Giants Stadium, which is now MetLife Stadium, where the Giants play. And it was in. So they spoiled us. The record company spoiled my radio station because we played a lot of their records.
That was their job, though.
So we got to sit in one of these, boxes, one of these cool boxes, and saw the Grateful Dead, and the angle was perfect. And that was it. That was the only time I got to see him. So can you have a Grateful Dead story? Let's hear yours about Caddy, and then I want to tell my Grateful Dead story, which is more about Jerry. But we're talking about the Dead and Bob Weir together.
Yeah. My wife, Caddy, when we were dating, we were actually newly married, and she was a weekend Deadhead. She was one of those that, hey, if they were around, yeah, man, I'm going to do it. And she had friends that were really good, big Deadheads. And so in August of 1995, she turned me on to Jerry Garcia and the Grateful Dead, literally like a month before he passed. But I got to see him, and her favorite song was Women Smarter. And you might know the name of the band, Vic, but there's a band that even plays to this day, but they played at North 40 here in St. Louis. I've heard some other people talk about them. She would go every Thursday night to them.
Wow.
And that's all they played was Dead music, and I'm sure one of our listeners, one of the Vic Heads, I'm sure knows what I'm talking about here. Because I'd drop her off and pick her up, and she just loved the Dead as a weekend Deadhead.
Yeah, that's great.
Because those other people, man, they were hardcore. They followed them everywhere.
My wife never followed them. I never followed them. But I'll be damned, she knows every word to Uncle John's Band and every word to Truckin' and all that. It's just crazy. So is that you good?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I got my fill of. I saw Jerry Garcia. It was near the end, man, and he was just all he would do is lean up against the speaker and play. He didn't move around or anything.
He was like, he was like missing half of one of his fingers too.
I'm not sure.
I think he was missing one of his, not missing completely, just like a little stub. When I was in college at Fairleigh Dickinson University in Teaneck, New Jersey, we had a great college radio station. I mean, the studios were beautiful, and when I applied for the college, obviously I went to the radio station to see what they got going on. And I said, well, what kind of music does your college radio station play? And the guy says, well, we're very strict here. We're very strict. You know, we only play blues, bluegrass, and country. I was like, oh, fantastic. So we used to have the format was Music America, where every half hour the music genre would change from country to blues to bluegrass.
Oh, that's interesting.
So I got a really good appreciation for country and bluegrass music. And there was this band called Old and in the Way. You know, I said, oh, let's play this. Let's see what this is all about. I put it in, and I'm reading the cover, and I was like, oh, my God, Jerry Garcia's in this band doing bluegrass with these bluegrass guys. So Jerry, he liked all that kind of stuff, too. I don't know why I told that story. It was stupid. Okay, so the big story is, and again, this is not about Bob Weir, and I know we're drifting from Bob, but, you know, the Dead was one big happy family. Right?
They were, yeah.
So Jerry Garcia... I went to go visit my cousin in Colorado. That's where the story really starts. And I said to him, I want to go to Red Rocks. I don't care if it's the Russian ballet. I want to see Red Rocks. I want to see what it's all about. I want to see the view of the city from up there and all that. So we drove over we just looked it up. And that night, Lyle Lovett and his large band is playing at Red Rocks. So we got tickets, walked across the parking lot. I had to stop halfway. There's no tie up there. It's hard to breathe.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So we got the tickets, and we went home, and we put on the news, and the news said Jerry Garcia died. I was like, oh, that's a drag. So we drove to the Lyle Lovett concert. We're waiting for the show to start. Right about that time, actually, too, was an album called, it was actually 1991, 4 years prior. The album was called Dedicated, D-E-A-D, Dedicated, a tribute to the Grateful Dead. And Los Lobos did Bertha. Bruce Hornsby did Jack Straw. The Harshed Mellows did U.S. Blues. Oh, I forgot about that song. That's great. Elvis Costello did Ship of Fools. Dwight Yoakam did Truckin'. And Lyle Lovett did the Grateful Dead song called Friend of the Devil. So we're waiting for the concert to start. And everything's on. All lights are on, you know. And the lights went down. And then a spotlight came up on a single bar stool. And Lyle Lovett is sitting on the bar stool. He didn't say a word. He did do Friend of the Devil, the Grateful Dead song. When it was over, the light went out on him. All the stage lights came up, and Lyle Lovett and his large band started the show. It was the coolest tribute, and I hate this was like hipster heaven, by the way, because if you didn't know Friend of the Devil, if you didn't know anything about the Dead, you had no idea it was a Grateful Dead song.
So you were right in there.
It was only for people who really, truly knew the Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
So it was kind of neat, and I thought that was a weird story that I was in Colorado. Jerry Garcia dies. Lyle Lovett's going to do a show, and I go to the show, and that's what he did. A very special moment for me.
Absolutely.
That doesn't happen all the time. No. Somebody on the phone?
Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Vic and Ken, 20 North. I think it was the Brass Door before it was 20 North Band Eventer. A band called Jake's Leg would play there.
Oh, I know about them.
Yeah, I know you knew that. Yeah.
Sakes,
Thanks,
yes.
Joe. Yeah, it was 20 North. Yeah, and I would drop her off, pick her up, every week, every Thursday.
And guys, they're still playing. They play at Busch Stadium on Grateful Dead night.
Oh my God!
Awesome.
They do. And Dave, the lead guitar player, still rocks it out. But I just want to tell you guys, Thursday night at 20 North, the bar would be packed, and David would go into one of his guitar solos. He didn't play like Jerry Garcia, played his own guitar, but he would riff it in with the Grateful Dead songs, and it was so unbelievably great, and that's why that place was packed every Thursday night.
And I'll bet they went nuts when they played Women Smarter, because that's where she got that, I think.
They did play Women Smarter all the time.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe, thanks so much, man. That's perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, brother.
Jake's
Thanks,
Leg. Of course I remember Jake's Leg. I don't know why I didn't think of it when you were talking
right.
about it. So now Bob Weir is gone, and the only two original members of the Dead are Bill Kreutzmann and Mickey Hart. And there's been some great memes, moving and still, about Bob. Like the one I like the most is, and this is a moving meme, moving, what do you call it? Video.
A video, yeah.
A video meme. And Bob Weir's on stage with, Jerry Garcia's on stage with Pigpen, and the guys who have died. And Jerry goes to go up on stage and damn it. Bob Weir goes to go on stage and Jerry gives him his hand and pulls him up on stage.
I love that. Yeah, I love that.
So that's it. We lost Bob Weir. Let's do a song he wrote and sang. Kenny, it's Truckin' on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Number one for live and local conservative talk and fun.
Truckin', got my chips cashed in, keep truckin', like the Doodah Man together. More or less in line, just keep trucking on.
Arrows of neon and flashing marquees out on Main Street. Chicago, New York, Detroit, and it's all on the same street. A typical city involved in a typical daydream. Hang it up and see what tomorrow brings.
How's the Italian food in this restaurant?
Good. Try the veal. It's the best in the city.
I'll have it.
Close to New Orleans, New York, got the ways and means and just won't let you be.
You start out with a little bit of oil. Then you fry some garlic. Then you throw in some tomatoes, tomato paste. You fry it. You make sure it doesn't stick. You got it to a boil. You shove in all your sausage and your meatballs, and a little bit of wine, and a little bit of sugar, and that's my trick.
The Vic Porcelli Show. Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
If you have a phone, you have a radio.
Download the all-new News Talk STL app.
Love the all-new Newstalk STL app.
On my way to work in the morning.
Usually I'm in the car.
I listen on the app in my car every morning going to work.
Download the News Talk STL app and listen anytime, anywhere.
Hey, it's Susie Moore. If new flooring makes you think hassle, think again, because Michael's Flooring is changing the game. For over 30 years, Michael's has been locally owned and trusted for quality, variety, and amazing service. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, laminate, luxury vinyl, or ceramic tile, their expert team makes installing new floors exciting, not stressful. That's why customers keep coming back. Visit Michael's Flooring at St. Peters, Starting Prairie, Creve Coeur, or online at igotfloored.com. That's igotfloored.com.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
Louis Gohmert, he's a former congressman.
Bob Gibson.
Oh, yeah.
Pitching for the St. Louis Cardinals in the World Series. And so I snuck my transistor radio in my shirt and had the little earpiece into my ear and tried to keep my head turned where the teacher wouldn't see, but was listening to the World Series in class.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps. Weekdays at 4 on News Talk STL.
If you turned 65 recently like me, it's important you find a Medicare Advantage plan that gives you the coverage you're looking for. But finding one can be difficult. The best thing I did, and I suggest you do the same, is call a licensed insurance agent and let them walk you through your Medicare Advantage plan options. There are so many benefits you have access to, so make the call now and let the representatives explain everything to you. Our licensed insurance agents can offer you a variety of Medicare Advantage plans. Plus, the call is free, the information is free, and there's no obligation to enroll. We're here to make it easy for you to select a Medicare Advantage plan that may work for your needs. Finding a Medicare Advantage plan can be easy if you do what I did. Make a quick call right now to learn more. Thank you.
800-439-7851. 800-439-7851. 800-439-7851. That's 800-439-7851.
Fox News commentary with Craig Gutfeld. Next.
New Year's resolutions sound great on January 1st, but January 10th, not so much. This year, there's one resolution worth keeping, getting your finances in order. For many people, that starts with balance, not just growth, but protection too. And that's where Noble Gold Investments comes in. For over a decade, they've made it easy for investors to add gold and silver to their portfolios and reduce market risk. Visit NobleGoldInvestments.com, NobleGoldInvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals involves risk. Consult with your tax or financial professional before making investment decisions.
Here's Greg Gutfeld.
We used to share responsibility when it came to civic order, but identity politics destroyed that. Now we are to believe that we aren't worthy to call out lawbreaking because the lawbreakers are oppressed and we are the oppressor. Identity politics erased all culpability, whether it's open borders, fraud, recidivist crime. If you dared to call that out, then you were racist. But that stupid racist claim was enough to turn clowns like Waltz into cowards. And talk about bad timing. Waltz was in charge as his state imported people from low-trust societies where no shared values exist. There's nothing here for them except American taxpayer dollars. But when a city becomes rife with economic and government inefficiency, you're left with warring tribes fueled by the suspicions of others.
For more commentary like this, go to foxnewspodcast.com.
Whoosh.
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
Be cool, honey bunny. Be cool.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
Who's that lady? Isley Brothers, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, I think what's happened in the last week or so in Minnesota, from the viewpoint of journalism, I think Nick Shirley shook the world. He really did.
Yeah.
And if this doesn't get the mainstream media on board to tell us the truth, because everybody's seen these videos, whether you're a Democrat or Republican or a liberal or a conservative, everybody's seen it.
Around the world.
Around the world.
And I don't think that it's going to get them on board because he's an independent journalist and they don't want that.
I bet Barry Weiss loves them.
Sure, but she's got a big lift if she's going to try and make the CBS News become that.
But my point is, maybe she'll hire him.
Okay.
To be an investigative reporter.
You know what kind of get that would be?
Right. And to show all these old timers who've been doing it for years. You know those guys, oh, tell me how to do it. Wow. I know what I'm doing.
That would be earth shaking.
And then he comes and he shows us these videos of just fraud all over the place. So anyway, so Nick Shirley, he's the one who told us about, I can never remember the first word. Is it Quality? Quality Leering Center?
Yeah, Quality Leering Center.
Are those hoodies? Can you buy those hoodies?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I need one.
On his, he's got a site.
I need a Quality Leering
Center, yeah.
You know, you live, you leer.
You do.
So Nick showed us child care places that nobody's at. And by the way, all these places that we're talking about get governmental money, whether it be state money from Minnesota or federal money from the U.S. government.
Right.
I swear to God, I don't drink before the show. I swear. I just got air into my diaphragm. I got to take that out, the diaphragm. Okay, so now he's gone on to look at some other companies, transportation companies. And before I talk to you this morning, Ken, when that said transportation company, I thought it was like cars. Like when I was at DHA in New Jersey, record companies Jessica and I were in New York 3 times a week, I swear to God. And they would send a car for us. Yeah. Not a limo, just a car.
Yeah.
And I thought that's what this was. But this is non-emergency medical transportation, making it even worse of a crime to me.
And that's a key, yeah.
Okay. So let's hear Nick and Shirley. Oh, this is actually David Hawk talking, right? This is the heart of the fraud, the transportation companies.
Well, what I think might be sort of the heart of the beast here is this transportation fraud. And what I mean by that is in Minnesota, we have something called non-emergency medical transportation, NEMT. My research has shown that there are about 1,020 such companies in Minnesota, and more than 90% of them are Somali-owned.
So there's some, I'm sure, Ken, 10%, less than 10% of the transportation companies that do what they're supposed to do what they say they do.
Right.
Take people. And it was like non-emergency medical transportation. You know, like going to Costco. I was like, what does Costco got to do with anything medical?
Right.
You know, but they have a pharmacy and stuff, so that was probably stupid on my part. So David Hawk wants to know, why is there a need for so much transportation?
And so why would there be such a need for all these transportation companies here inside of Minnesota?
So if you think of this transportation as the hub of the wheel, so childcare is a spoke, adult daycare is a spoke, autism is a spoke, the interpreter services, which we can get into, that's another spoke. It all ties back to transportation. Why? Because those meals someone had to deliver those meals, someone has to deliver the kid to autism, or say they did. So it all revolves around the transportation.
Problem is, there's no transportation happening. They're not transporting anybody anywhere.
No, and that's the key here, though. They need to show activity. So what do they have? Autism services, interpretive services, childcare. They have to bring people around everywhere.
But they're not doing anything, are they?
On paper, they are.
That's what I mean. But they're not really taking anybody anywhere.
No.
Which makes it doubly worse for me.
Yeah.
Okay. So David Hawk continues on this. He says that these non-emergency medical transportation companies, they just fill out the forms and get the money.
The way these NEMT companies are paid is if they bring someone to a doctor's appointment, whatever the case might be, or Costco or wherever they're going, because remember, it's non-emergency medical transportation. Well, we went to Costco because they have to eat or they'll die. So that's considered, right? So it's almost impossible to figure out from the outside what exactly the payments are for each of these trips. And the reality is, how many of these trips are being provided? Zero. They don't have to provide any. Why? Because when they are paid by the state of Minnesota, these companies go online and they fill out a form, and it just says, okay, how many trips, how many miles. They submit that electronically to the state, and boom, they get paid.
And there's no double checking.
Yeah. And he actually did the math, right? How many times a trip, how much that trip costs, times how many days, and it added up to just an unbelievable number.
Yeah.
And these transportation centers are actually what hold all the fraud together for everything else, right?
Yeah, because they show that activity.
When does the audio that we're going to hear, because I don't want to, let the cat out of the bag too early here, about footprints. Is that it?
It's coming up.
Okay. Let's hear the one I just talked about, it being the fraud kind of hub.
And so essentially, these transportation companies are what hold all of the fraud together, because you have the daycare centers working with the transportation companies, the adult daycare centers working with the transportation companies, the healthcare companies working with the transportation companies. So it's just another way to bill and to also make it look like something's happening here inside of Minnesota.
This is the belly of the beast. All of this fraud revolves around these transportation companies. All of it. This touches every part of fraud here in Minnesota.
And today we're going to go confront these people. We confronted them last time. There was no kids in any of the child care centers. And today, what do you expect to see?
I think we're going to see some vehicles because, when I drive around the cities here, I see these Somalis driving, and mostly it's like a Plymouth Caravan or whatever. And there's never, ever, ever been a passenger. And in 7 years, I've never seen a passenger in any of these vehicles.
This is the man who works every day there.
So Nick Shirley and David Hawk decided to pay them a visit.
And now we're going to 617, another transportation company. However, it is actually Cedar Riverside Liquor. Where is the transportation company?
617.
617 right here?
Transportation for the state of Minnesota is registered to 617 Cedar Avenue South.
And it's a liquor store. David, they aren't even trying to hide that these are transportation companies. Where are the vans at?
Should we ask?
Let's go ask.
Hey, we're looking for Dreamline Transportation.
Now we're in 617, Dreamline Transportation.
No.
Where is the transportation company?
No, we don't have this.
You ever heard of Safari Transportation?
Safari? I know Safari, that money wiring, 607.
The money wiring?
Yeah.
Okay, that's money wiring.
Yeah.
We're looking for Safari Transportation.
607.
They said they never heard of it.
I never did. Safari company, the money wiring, they send money there, that's the 607.
So Safari gets the money and then they wire it out.
Yeah, the money.
That man just said that Safari is actually a money wiring company, so therefore they're receiving money and then wiring it somewhere. underneath the name of a transportation company.
Wow. That guy's dead, for sure.
Money wiring.
The guy that just let the cat out of the bag there?
Yeah.
Oh, I heard of Safari. Their money, that's how we wire money back to Somalia. He didn't say it in those words, but he definitely said that.
And we don't have time to play the whole 51 minutes of all this, but the bottom line is they're jumping it from the service. They get the money, but they went right to money wiring.
Yeah, right. 7, you want to hear, Ken?
Yep.
All right, let's do that.
This is fraud. We're talking about fraud.
What you're doing.
We got to explain there's a man who walks up to him while he's in the street, and this guy knows him, of him.
Sure.
Defending fraud. You're
When I go into your comments,
you're defending fraud.
People who hate Muslims want us out of here
people can say
for
what they
being
want.
Muslim.
I'm not censoring
Are
anybody.
using your material. Islamophobes use your material. People who hate Islam use your material. Say to us, we don't want you here. Change the Constitution. But guess what? Let me tell you something. Guess what?
Say it. We're asking about
What
fraud. We're asking
do,
about fraud.
You hate Muslims.
I'm not saying I hate Muslims. We're talking about fraud. We're talking
Why
about
are you
fraud.
attacking us?
This
are we
is
the
fraud.
only community that suffers because of fraud?
We're talking about fraud.
Are we the only community that does fraud? Are we the only community that does this?
This is about fraud.
All right, but there's what, 300 Somali providers in all of Minnesota?
There's actually 800.
Don't touch me.
So,
you speak English?
transportation companies.
Your security doesn't even speak English. Listen, let me tell you something.
See, this isn't a race issue, sir.
Listen, let me
this is about fraud.
We have, what, 1,000 providers?
Yeah, you guys have a...
Even it's 2,000 providers.
Okay,
you want to sacrifice the safety of 80,000 people
we're not
because of 2,000 providers? Are you mad? Are you stupid?
I'm not stupid. You're stupid. Where's the transportation company?
What about if a mass shooting happens in Minnesota? It will be because of you. It will be because of you. If any Somali gets hurt in Minnesota, it's because of Nick Shirley.
This is about fraud.
One single Somali gets hurt.
This is about fraud,
it's because
sir.
of you. Sensationalizes. You son of a bitch. Sensationalizes.
Wow, you're
Get the out of our neighborhood.
very nice.
Get the out of our
Sir,
neighborhood.
can you tell me where the transportation company
out
is?
of our neighborhood. We don't want you here. Get the out of here.
Calm down, sir.
Calm down, sir.
Get the out of here.
Now, Nick does have some protection.
A lot of
right?
protection now.
Yeah.
Yeah. In this time, before it was by himself.
Yeah, I think even with the protection, he's being very brave and, getting surrounded by these people. So,
number 13.
I don't think we have time, Kenny.
Really?
I mean, I got some stuff I want to say.
Okay.
So when I walked in this morning, I saw some of this video last night, and that one guy who was saying, well, everybody does it. Why are you picking on us?
Yeah, yeah.
So what? Because everybody does it, you think it's right?
There's so much deflection going on here, Vic, and that was a great point that you just picked up, because they said they literally will say that. Whatever we're doing, it doesn't matter. It's none of your business, because there are other people who are doing the same thing.
Go after them, not us.
Millions upon hundreds of millions of dollars are being lost here.
Yeah. So another point on why Nick Shirley's so good at this at such a young age. Ken said to me this morning, we meet in the production room and we talk a little bit and we listen to some of the audio clips. And he said, the footprint, there's no footprint, for any of these daycares and everything. I thought Ken was being metaphorical, like a carbon footprint.
Oh, I got you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I wait, you mean real footprints in the snow?
This was one we've got like 10 different instances we can't play. It just drives me nuts. But this one that you're talking about, there were supposed to be 112 kids at this one location. Snow's on the ground everywhere. They were supposed to be transporting these kids. The 10, I think there are 9 vans that they had have not been touched in months.
Wow.
Now, not tracks. They were covered in snow, Vic.
Mm-hmm.
So they walk up to the entrance, covered in snow. No footprints.
The windshields, I'm sure, weren't cleared off.
No,
Snow on the
covered.
windshield.
The windows are all blacked out. There's no children's footprints at the entrance. And they get millions of dollars a year for one location.
This is
of taxpayers' money.
This is very mafia-like. No-show jobs. When they go to the no-show jobs.
Right.
No work. They sit on chairs and don't do any work, but they still get paid. And some don't even have to go and they get paid. This sounds very much like that. And I was so impressed when you said, no, real footprints. I'm like, oh, real footprints.
Right.
There's no real footprints in the snow. But you did a great job researching this, Ken, and understanding all this and explaining it to all of us. And we appreciate you, man. Very, very nice job.
Oh, thanks, Vic. But Nick Shirley, and you guys got to check the video out. This is a new video. It's like 51 minutes long. He even says it's long. He didn't even have a chance to watch it, but he said, please just watch it. You're going to be exposed to a lot of stuff.
Yep. Don't forget our Freedom 13 Salute Our Troops Gala Night, Friday, February 27th at the Foundry Arts Center in St. Charles. It's going to be a great event. Mark Schmitz will be there, and you can get tickets at NewstalkSTL.com. It's going to be a great night of supporting and celebrating our troops who, protect us every single day.
And honoring Jared and the other 12.
That's right. Freedom 13. Oh, Maria Ruhl's next from Havana, 1961.
Looking for an underwater adventure or a scaly new friend? Dive into Tropical World Pets on Watson Road. For 32 years, this family-owned wonderland has been St. Louis's go-to destination for all things aquatic and reptilian. With over 7,000 square feet of aquariums, we're home to the area's largest selection of freshwater fish, including rare cichlids you won't find anywhere else. But that's not all. We've got tarantulas, snakes, and lizards galore. Tropical World Pets, 314-849-4020, or visit TWPSTL.com.
Why are you going to work? It's Sunday.
It's a brand new show on News Talk STL. JC's Sunday Showgram.
What famous St. Louis news anchor did I meet when she worked as a Playboy bunny? And we'll relive the famous Ricky Prohl catch this week in 2000. Plus, Uma Thurman's feat, Natalie Portman at age 15, and a St. Louis Blues player's wife who couldn't wait for her husband to leave on a road trip. All brought to you by the Weber Automotive Group.
Sunday morning, 7 to 9. Then podcast each Monday on NewsTalkSTL.com. KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewsTalkSTL.com.
Breaking news at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. President Trump says he may decide to invoke the Insurrection Act to deal with the escalating violence in Minneapolis. That's after it escalated again with an anti-ICE demonstrator attacking an officer last night, allegedly with a shovel and getting shot.
So say officials. The shooting took place more than 4 miles north of where an immigrant agent fatally shot Renee Good on January 7th. Homeland Security says federal law enforcement officers stopped a person from Venezuela who was in the U.S. illegally. DHS officials also say that person drove away and crashed into a parked car before taking off on foot.
As correspondent Andrew Stewart, the Insurrection Act is a set of federal laws originating in 1807, allowing a U.S. president to deploy active-duty military forces and or federalize the National Guard in uncertain circumstances, and that includes helping to enforce federal law when it's being obstructed. Still not clear exactly what President Trump is threatening against the Iranian regime in the event it begins to execute anti-government demonstrators.
President Trump has left unclear what American action, if any, would take place against Iran.
Just gotten to me some information that the killing has stopped, that the executions have stopped. They're not going to have an execution.
Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi sought to tone down the rhetoric, urging the U.S. to find a solution through negotiation.
Between war and diplomacy is a better way.
The UN Security Council scheduled an emergency meeting on Iran at the request of the United States on Thursday afternoon. I'm Karen Chamas.
Venezuela's opposition leader pays a visit to President Trump today at the White House. Mr. Trump agreed to meet with the Nobel Peace Prize winning Maria Corina Machado following the U.S. capture of Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Chuck McDowell here with Wesley Financial Group. My 78-year-old friend Linda called me yesterday. She bought a $40,000 timeshare in Nashville. She was told it was a great investment and that he would personally book all her vacations. All lies. She called our sales rep, Chris, the next morning at 4:57 a.m. to cancel, and she was told it was too late. You had your chance yesterday. Another lie. She has 10 days in Tennessee. I am in a war with the timeshare industry because people keep buying their lies, and they don't want me to help you. If you need a timeshare, I'm sure one of the 3,500 people that call my office weekly would love to give you one of theirs. Or go online and pay $1 for it, but stop paying $40,000 for lies. It's time to stop the insanity. Don't wait another day.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-364-7711. That's 800-364-7711. 800-364-7711.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Stifel, serving investors for over 130 years. Contact your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com.
Life's legal challenges deserve experienced representation. For over 15 years, Cole Combs Attorney at Law has been serving St. Charles and surrounding counties with comprehensive legal expertise. From tax preparation and estate planning to family law and criminal defense, Cole delivers personalized solutions for your unique situation. You have traffic tickets, need a business formation, real estate matters, one call will handle it all. Cole O. Combs Attorney at Law. Call 636-949-0010 extension 3 today or visit colecombs-law.com.
The St. Louis County Insider with Councilman Mark Harder.
Hi, it's Mark. Coming up this Sunday, we will talk with Mary Lamy with the Regional Freightways, find out what's going on down there. We'll also talk with Jim Wild with East-West Gateway and find out what is the East-West Gateway. We'll also talk with Megan Warner with Missouri Growth Association and some of the projects she's working on.
The St. Louis County Insider with Councilman Mark Harder.
I'll talk to you Sunday night at 5, only on News Talk STL.
Do you own a timeshare? Well, face the facts. You made a mistake. You made a bad purchase. A timeshare is not an investment. It's a money pit that continues forever. If you use your timeshare, that's great. But if you don't and you want to legally get out of your contract, call my friends right now at the Timeshare Exit Hotline. They're an experienced team of lawyers who help good people like you get out of a timeshare contract that they just don't want. Don't throw away your money on maintenance fees. Use it for things you really want. We can help you end your timeshare contract and stop the money drain immediately. If you're ready to move on with your timeshare, call our team right now.
Cancel your timeshare now with this free call. 800-524-1641. 800-524-1641. 800-524-1641. That's 800-524-1641.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf.
800-240-4586. 800-240-4586. That's 800-240-4586.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by the Trolley Stop Bakery, the official bakery of the Vic Porcelli Show. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
A 3-hour tour, a 3-hour tour. The weather started getting rough.
We squeeze in a dry hump day under partly sunny skies.
From New Jersey to Baldwin, Missouri, two behind the microphone, taking the whoosh to the radical left and the putrid swamp. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show. Here he is, Vic Porcelli.
I didn't budget my...
You didn't do that right.
I didn't budget my pretzel very well there.
You're usually pretty good about that.
Yeah, today I'm not, okay? Get off my back.
Okay.
Get out of my ass. All right, so I want to talk about... I hate talking about them, but let's talk about the left from a news broadcast point of view. But before that, I want to hear 32, Ken.
Yeah.
Which is President Trump talking to Iranian patriots.
You're being very badly abused.
Sorry, listen, I had it too far ahead. Here we go.
To all Iranian patriots, keep protesting, take over your institutions if possible, and save the name of the killers and the abusers that are abusing you. You're being very badly abused. And I've canceled all meetings with the Iranian officials until the senseless killing of protesters stops. And all I say to them is help is on its way. You saw that I put tariffs on anybody doing business with Iran.
This is such a remarkable time in history right now, Ken, because we're on the verge, on the precipice of seeing Iran not be led by an Islamic leader, getting back to some sort of, democratic normalcy. They're never going to be us. They're never going to be us. But, I'm really curious, though, Ken, because we talk all the time about Sharia law and how people in this country, women, support Sharia law.
Who?
What, women?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but I don't think there are a lot of people that do that. I think it's a subset of people. I don't think that you have, like, if you're on the left, you might, hate Trump, and so you're supporting something like this.
That's dangerous stuff.
That's very dangerous.
Yeah.
But I honestly don't think that there are a lot of women out there saying, "Yeah, I want to wear a burqa. I want to be beaten by my
Of
husband."
course not, because they don't know that's what happens. That's like Queers for Palestine.
Right.
Go visit Palestine, and we'll wave to you when you're getting thrown off the top of the building.
Exactly.
So, women for Sharia law. It's like BB says about chickens for KFC.
Well, one thing about that, I know that I've heard, and we talk about takia and how they can have to lie to support themselves. Sometimes you have to lie to if you're being threatened, and they lie. Okay, so in this, they have these useful idiots that they say, "Oh, no. When we take over with Sharia and we have Islam and we have the Islamic way, and once there's a caliphate, you're going to be okay. You're going to be all right." And that's the lie. And so they think, "Oh, okay, then I'll support it."
Okay, we've gotten so off track of where we started. What I was trying to get to was, if they can overthrow the Ayatollah and bring back some sort of decent government, I wonder if Iran will stop having Sharia law. That's where I was trying to go.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if you're strong enough to protest in the streets and say, we want a new leadership, we don't want this Islam crap anymore, then you have to be brave enough to deal with the consequences. And the consequences need to be all the Sharia law, beat your wife in public thing has to go away. It has to go away for that to be successful.
And I believe that if they truly get away from the theocracy that they currently live under, okay, that they would completely get away from that. That would I saw a video of this woman. She said, we never were Muslim. We never were Islam. We never were until around 1977, 8, 9.
Is Afghanistan a theocracy?
I don't know what they are. I don't know.
No.
Okay.
And they still beat their wives in the streets and stone women to death.
But
see what I'm saying?
No, I do see what you're saying.
Even though they get rid of the Ayatollah, if all these protests work and Donald Trump stands behind them all and they get a new government, we have to make sure it's a full, safe government for men and women.
And they call it a Shah and a Queen. They don't have a president.
Right, the Shah of Iran, right.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, these are cosmopolitan people. These are people who are artistic. They are innovative. They want to be Western culture.
They don't want to dress like they're dressing.
No.
And let's just call it, let's just, strip it down to the barest thing. They just want to put on a pair of jeans, or the women want to put on a cute skirt, cute top, and go out and sunbathe, or put on a bikini and go to the beach.
That's all.
That's all they want to do.
That's what they've ever done.
And that to them is so important that it's almost unachievable to them, especially people who are 1979 was 40 years ago.
Yeah.
So you have girls who are women now of 40 years old that knew nothing else, right? But you have older people like me who grew up with the Shah of Iran, then the Ayatollah Khomeini, and then the Islam stuff, where they know they had a taste of real life. I don't want to say real democracy because I don't know how far they can go. God bless them if they can get there. But decent life to live how they want to live.
Like somewhat free. I mean, right now they're not at all. I mean, this is my biggest concern about this whole thing happening, is that we're going to drop the ball and there are already thousands dead, Vic. We need to have it to where, I'm not saying nation building. This is different. This is a once in a multi-generational thing where we could change history and we can change a people for the better. We're not nation building, and I know it sounds like Afghanistan. We're not doing that. But what I'm saying is, if the protesters currently, the people of Iran, start succeeding, we need to find some way to at least support them. Is it verbally? I don't know. Is it money? Is it some way? I don't know what it is. And President Trump, I'm sure, is talking to his staff about this.
I'm sure militarily is on that list that you just ran through there.
And there might be. You know what? What about that, Vic? What if Trump bombs another nuclear site? Maybe that'll tear things down even further for the mullahs and the.
I wish
the theocracy that run that country.
I wish they started demonstrating and protesting closer to that nuke of the bombing of the nuclear plants. You know what I mean? Because that would have given it so much more momentum going into their demonstration, going into their movement. It's a movement now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To get rid of theocracy, Islam, and I had a laugh the other day. You say we're up to 2,000 people that they
Over.
killed?
There's like more than 2,500, probably 3,000 by now.
I had to laugh when on the news they said Iran holding like one person. They're going to execute one person. You know, like one? Really?
No.
It's crazy.
They're shooting into crowds. They're not. And then what you have there's another part of this. Okay, you remember when Maduro was being his security detail was Cuban because they weren't local that could be sympathizers to the opposition. That's the reason why you had Cubans, because they don't care. They're not invested in the local, citizenry, right? So what's happening right now in Iran is they're taking people from different countries and using them as agitators, kind of like what's happening here in Minneapolis when they protest. They're transplanted there. They're paid to go in there. Kind of like what that is happening in Iran, where they have opposition now that support the theocracy, and they're coming and saying, "You people are wrong. You protesters need to die." Right? Well, that's their support system, and they're doing that with out of country people.
Right. And it's just crazy. All right. Sorry. President sat down with Tony Dokupo.
How do you pronounce that?
Who cares? He's the new evening news anchor, the latest failure in a long line of failed CBS evening news anchor. Tony Cowpill. The Cowpill.
The Cowpill.
It's the Cowpill. Talking to President Trump.
I was very interested in a comment you made recently about nothing being able to limit your action overseas except for your own morality and your own mind. I'd like to take that same question and apply it here in the U.S. Is there anything that limits your power, your movement, your action here other than your own morality?
Well, I talk about morality. I'm a moral person. I don't like seeing death. I don't like seeing our people hurt. I don't like seeing the other side hurt either. You know, when we went into Venezuela, we lost nobody, but a lot of people on the other side were killed. I don't like that. Somebody else would say, oh, that's wonderful. I don't like that. So, yeah, it's limited by my morality, and I have a very high grade of morality, so therefore it's limited.
Not the Constitution, not the courts. That's what I thought you were going to say.
Well, the Constitution and courts, that goes without saying. But you're asking me what really can stop? We'll never get to the courts. We'll never get to the Constitution, because I want to see what's good for our country. And you know what? The courts want to see that, too.
You see what he did there? He said, oh, I thought you were going to talk about the Constitution. And then President Trump's point is it's perfect, because he said, you know what? That goes without saying, numbhead. I almost messed up here.
But, now this new guy, Tony, let's call him Tony D, okay? Tony D.
Tony D.
New evening news anchor. I'm telling you, he's the one that goes home to his wife and says, honey, I'm going to be the one that catches him. I'm going to give him the gotcha question of all time.
Yeah.
And take him down, right?
Right.
And that's how he started, by saying, what he's going to do based on morals. Morals like what happened in Benghazi, those kind of...
those morals, yeah.
Like drone hits that not only did not kill terrorists, but just killed a guy who owned a laundry shop and
killed
his
Americans.
Kids and Americans. I mean, it's this guy thinks he's it, and I'm telling you right now, Ken, he's not it. He's not it. Whether they don't like him and they sabotaged his first broadcast, what are we going to? This story, that story?
Yeah.
Either way, that never should have happened. And of course, they can blame it on him. Oh, he's new. He doesn't know the ropes. Yeah, we got to teach him the ropes. But he's going to be the one. He's going to be the one that tries to catch Donald Trump by saying, "Oh, I thought you would have said the Constitution." Duh.
And
We're so past that, Tony.
Right. And to President Trump's point, that was perfect because he almost looked at him, and if you saw the video, he looked at him like, well, that goes without saying, dude.
Don't you wish there was...
I'm the president of the United States, in other words. I'm going to follow the Constitution.
Don't you wish there was a thought bubble over Tony's head when he said, well, of course we come... Oh, damn it. You know?
Right.
I thought I had him.
Almost.
I don't have him.
Almost.
So how bad are Democrats doing, Ken? 25 may answer that question for us. Harry Enton on CNN. I got to be honest with you. I cannot believe he still has a job. Or here's the dichotomy, okay? I can't believe he still has a job. Or CNN is saying, yeah, I guess we're going to have to say that Democrats suck. You know?
I'll bet his ratings are high, if not higher than most of the anchors there.
Harry Enton?
Yeah.
Well, let's hear what he has to say.
How are voters feeling about Democrats right now?
Yeah, I mean, Democrats in the minds of the American public are lower than the Dead Sea. What are we talking about here? Well, let's take a look. The net approval rating for Democrats in Congress, you said it, Kate Baldwin, the lowest ever. Look at this. Overall, they are 55 points underwater. Their approval rating is south of 20%. It's even worse when you look at independents. Look at this. Negative 61 points. That means that their approval rating is 61 points lower than their disapproval rating. Quinnipiac has been polling this question for the better part of the 21st century. They have never found Democrats, at least those in Congress, in worse shape than they are
and this is
right now.
This is what we need to remember, is that we're in a majority. We voted for President Trump with a mandate, and we can go through the whole thing, the popular vote, the electoral vote, the swing states. He won them all. Okay, when we start hearing these left-wing media outlets saying things like, well, you know, the left, I mean, they're in control almost. That's basically what they're trying to give us. It's not true.
I also love how Harry Enton seems to have changed his vocal style. Now he almost sounds like, yeah, see, Democrats are underwater by 50%. Play it. That's not how he always used to talk. He used to talk like a little, boy, I almost said two bad words there in a row. A little lighten the loafers kind of guy. You know what I mean?
Don't you cuss on this here radio.
Go ahead, go.
Yeah, I mean, Democrats in the minds of the American public are lower than the Dead Sea. What are we
They're lower than the Dead Sea, see? I want you to go out there, and I want you to get Democrats higher numbers, see? Because now they're lower than the Dead Sea, see?
talking about here? Well, let's take a look.
What are we talking about here?
Let's take a look.
That's not how he always spoke.
That's not.
I'm sorry.
You're right. You're right.
Now he's like Mr. Because he watches himself on Fox News. He watches, Jesse Waters and says, "Oh my God, look at Jesse Waters talking cool about me."
And maybe he's watching himself and going, "Ooh, I like the way I said that."
There's no doubt about that. No doubt.
Net approval rating for Democrats in Congress. You said it, Kate Baldwin.
You're kidding. You said it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I'm not going to be able to listen to him
Me neither.
a certain way anymore.
And that's great. And I think that's great.
Yeah.
Go.
Lowest ever. Look at this. Overall, they are 55 points underwater. Their approval rating is south of 20%. It's even worse when you look at independents. Look at this. Negative 61 points. That means that their approval rating is 61 points lower than their disapproval rating. Quinnipiac has been polling.
That's it. Hold on. Don't say a word.
Okay.
Because last time you made me forget because you started
All
talking before me. He didn't say the polling place right either. Quinnipiac, he said. What is it?
Quinnipiac.
But he said it wrong. I used to just say Quinnipiac.
Oh, okay.
I left the whole syllable out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I didn't know.
1 points lower than their disapproval rating. Quinnipiac has been polling.
Quinnipiac. So, underwater, see? 54% underwater. They're lower than the Dead Sea, see? He talks like a gangster.
You see?
Not only does he talk like a gangster, he talks like a gangster from 1940.
Edward G. Robinson.
Look at these numbers, see? Underwater. They're under the sea. With Ariel and Sebastian and the rest of the
Whoosh.
Okay. I have no idea what's coming up next, so.
It'll be fun, though.
Yeah, it'll be a ball. On 101.9, 94.1, see? News Talk STL.
Follow us on Rumble at News Talk STL. The Vic Porcelli Show.
You start out with a little bit of oil, and you fry some garlic. Then you throw in some tomatoes, tomato paste, you fry it, you make sure it doesn't stick. You got it to a boil, you shove in all your sausage and your meatballs, and a little bit of wine, and a little bit of sugar, and that's my trick.
On News Talk STL. News, analysis,
I'm glad you're talking about this.
opinion.
I'm glad you're fired up about it, too, because I know I am.
News Talk STL.
Is your retirement income at risk if you or your spouse needs nursing home or in-home care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money, Saturday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL 1019. The cost of long-term care is one of the biggest risks in retirement planning. For many retirees, a single nursing home stay can cause a significant reduction in assets that can permanently reduce your retirement income. Fortunately, there are affordable and flexible options available today that can help you manage the cost of long-term care. Our team can help you address the risks relevant to your retirement, including long-term care. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
Speaking to David Stokes, Director of Municipal Policy at the Show Me Institute, tell Chris and I about Waymo, these robo-taxis.
That is pretty obvious that these cars are much safer than human-driven cars. And much like I like horses, I like humans.
Dave, my God, man, they're killing cats.
I'm not an expert, but I do believe in the history of America that probably some human driving cars also run over a cat.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps, weekdays at 4 on News Talk STL.
1949, the last time a Republican held the top post in St. Louis City. A gallon of milk was 84 cents, and streetcars ran down Grand Avenue. Unfortunately, St. Louis City streets are no longer the epicenter of family and business life. In the 80 years of Democrat control, our city has been on a steady decline.
Hello, Kirk Ilsinger, Chairman of the Republican Party for the City of St. Louis, and we believe it is our duty to provide a different path forward. I invite you to our meetings the first Thursday of every month. Learn more at stl-gop.com.
Paid for by St. Louis City Republican PAC. Curtis Farber, Treasurer.
Conservative talk for St. Louis.
It's your patriotic right and duty. The government needs to step up and do its job.
This is News Talk STL.
It's well-balanced conversation.
News, analysis, opinion. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019.
Hi, it's Tom Shalhoub. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show on 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Okay, we're calling an audible here, okay? We're going to the chat box now, and then we're going to talk to James from Havana 1961 restaurant in St. Peters. Can't wait to talk to him. Always has good opinions on what's going on in the world, especially in, communist-led countries.
Yep.
All right, let's go. Here we go. Number one, DLW. Good morning. Hello, Vic Heads. From now I want to talk like Harry Enton all day, see?
Yeah.
Dang it. Crap. Deuce again. Ed starts second.
Doggone it.
Ken, it's your fault I'm Deuce. Why is it your fault?
I don't know. I was in there early today, early for me. Guys, I'm going to tell Vic Heads, I get us on the stream as quickly as I humanly possibly can.
Yeah. Well, that's it.
That's it. Okay. That's all.
I
That's all I have.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, no election.
No peace.
No fair tariffs.
No peace.
President, it was the Dukes. In Minnesota, Donald John Grover Cleveland Trump.
Whoosh.
I love you guys so much. I missed yesterday to attend a funeral. Oh, my God. I'm so sorry to hear about the death of the person. Good morning, all you beautiful, mega, ultra-patriotic, deplorable, garbagian, degenerate, freedom-fighting, God-fearing, Vic-head weirdos. Whoosh!
Whoosh.
Floyd.
Good morning, St. Louis.
Floyd, summer of love to conveniently a good winter of hate. Of ice. Get it? Get it?
I get it.
I need some warm weather. I just found a rotisserie baby back ribs recipe. Oh.
Sweet doggy deli, man. It sure is hot out there.
I just have to try it on the smoker. I don't think how you can mess that up. Fry in Minnesota is brain fried. Get it? Fried.
Yeah.
You must have got manure for your brains.
I do.
Him. That was him.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me.
Brain fried.
That police chief looked so downcast. He did. He surely was told what to say and what not to say. Because the mayor, the hierarchy of a city government, of a municipal government, mayor's on top.
Yeah.
Over the police department.
Unfortunately, yeah.
And I'm telling you, just like I said earlier in the day, he was looking at Fry after he made his speech, and he was sticking up for ICE and police, by the way.
Yeah.
And then Fry gets up and starts, bashing on ICE, and the police chief was like, dude, are you stupid?
Yeah.
Should have said that. Or maybe, what are you, stupid?
What are you, stupid?
Because he's a mensch.
You're underwater, see? The Dead Sea, see? Will they say one day this is the place and time in Minneapolis that the 2026 Civil War of good versus evil started? Very well could be.
Well, we hope not. I mean, this is, but like we talked with Nate today, we're playing a different game than they are. They're up against the wall. They have nothing. They have nothing that they can rally behind. So what are they doing? They're threatening with lives.
You just played President Trump, talking about morals, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The left has no morals.
No.
Look at how they behave.
Horribly.
Burn down cities. Now they're trying to beat up ICE agents with brooms and shovels.
You and I talked about this when Charlie Kirk was murdered. We were talking about character. We've seen people that we thought there's no way that they would think, oh, it's good. It's a good thing for them to murder him. And they said it. They actually said it out loud. I was shocked by a couple people that I knew.
Can I tell you?
I don't even want to be around. I don't want you around my children.
If you wish for and hope for and root for the death of somebody, you're a scumbag.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
That's it.
You're a scumbag.
Bottom line.
And all the liberals on Facebook, is he dead yet? Has anybody checked the obituaries? Wow, scumbag, what are you doing? All right, somebody wrote, DLW wrote 35 millimeter, but with a dollar sign. I'm so confused. Tampon Tim telling people to video ICE operations is classic, but they don't want Nick Shirley videotaping the fraud.
There you go. See, there are signs everywhere showing the corruption.
So somebody who is interviewing Tim Walz has to say, so Governor, you're telling people to record people, ICE agents, and what they're doing? Absolutely. So can they record all the fraud going on too? Oh, no.
What fraud? He'd say, oh, there is no fraud.
What?
We checked on it.
There's no fraud.
We checked on it.
They had to pick Waltz. They couldn't pick Shapiro because he would have looked that much more intelligent than Harris, and Walz is that much dumber.
Big time.
Talking about Kamala's running mate. I think that was with Karen at 9:05, maybe.
Yeah.
Ilhan Omar says they will never let that person's name be forgotten, and she was unarmed, and leaving is the dumbest comment. She was armed, you fool. By the way, say her name, Ashley Babbitt.
Yeah.
And to use Ilhan Omar's own words, in Minneapolis, some people did something. Go, ICE, go. Keep doing something.
I'm sorry, guys. What's going on here?
They picked Walz. Wow, they went all the way to the vice president to push us around?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Holy cow is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
They picked Walz because of the millions he brought into the table from the theft. Nonprofits, think about it. $9 billion stolen. Unbelievable. At least $9 billion. Hawley saw the light or something like that from Trump and Rubio. Good. Now resign anyway. Maybe become what you're best at, a prosecutor. He was a great prosecutor.
Somewhere along the line, he got so enamored with the lights, I guess, of the showroom on the television programs, the national television programs, because that's where he spent all of his time.
Yeah, and now he, the War Powers Act didn't pass, so that's good.
Right.
But we had to get to J.D. Vance to break the tie.
Right. Correct.
We shouldn't have needed that.
No.
So I don't know if he knew that was going to happen, and he's just like, look, I'm down the middle. I don't want it down the middle. I'm sorry, I don't want it down the middle.
No, we can't have it down the middle.
We've had a base in Greenland at Puli for years. It's a strategic base for early warning of Russian missile launches over the North Pole. Okay, listen. I'm not a military expert, okay? I'm a fat Italian who eats pasta on Sundays. I had no idea Greenland was strategic until all this stuff broke out. I'm sure there are people that knew very well about it. Doesn't make you smarter than me. Well, I guess it does. But I just didn't know it. I'm not an
right. No, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, Vic. And I'm glad that President Trump brought it to light, because guess what's going to happen? It's going to be either Russia or China taking them over, either taking them over in some fashion or encouraging them. Hey, we'll give you these ports. We'll give you all this support if you just take us on and let us be the military supporter of this country.
Right. Dick Durbin from Illinois, the retiring lame duck, spoke Ed Stoit again yesterday. It was hilarious. The only reason we don't have a strong presence in Greenland anymore is because of lame, feckless U.S. past politicians.
Yep.
Trump is not that at all and is coming back for a strategic area to protect us. That's fine.
Remember, they're coming after me because I'm standing up for you.
I just didn't know that, okay? I didn't know. I didn't spend time on what's the best military strategy around the world.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's all right. That's fine.
Okay. Get rid of personal property. Yes. Wait a minute. Somebody said, have you hit the like button yet? Why, Ed, I haven't. You know Ed's wife, his name is Edna?
Yeah.
Edna Stoit?
Edna Stoit.
Yeah. From the famous Stoits. As a small business owner in Illinois, it's even worse. I can only imagine. My God, I'm surprised we have any small businesses left in Illinois, and now Missouri is losing small businesses due to the new $15 minimum wage. You know, the minimum wage was raised to $15 an hour, which means Ken and I both got a $14 an hour raise.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to do jokes anymore. I'm just not going to do jokes. Missouri minimum wage went into effect 1/1/26. Within days, several businesses said we're closing. And I'm not trying to make fun of that. I'm sorry. This was a joke. $1 an hour. That we get paid $1 an hour. Ken hates my jokes. Why do you hate my jokes?
I'm doing five things.
Bullshit.
Almost said it again, didn't you?
Don't you cuss on this here radio.
You have no idea how many times I almost said stuff. We joked about 4 hours, and DLW says, so start at 8 a.m. or go to 1 p.m.? Okay.
No, you can't take away Jamie's show.
I was just going to say that. Didn't you think I was going to get to that?
Ken, Thunder Stealer.
Number one, 8 a.m., really? I barely make it to this show when it's 9 a.m. So that's not happening. And 1 p.m., like the Thunder Stealer just said, I'm not taking anything away from Jamie.
Oh, for you.
Navarro and Bannon got arrested in jail for contempt, but not one Dem turd has been arrested for years. Eric Holder, top of the list.
Yep.
That's an awful long list. They went through Melania's clothing. God,
they're so nasty.
Scumbags. The ratio of rhinos voting with Dem turds is lopsided to Dem turds voting with Republicans. Show me I'm wrong. Yeah. The Secret Service needs Dan Bongino. You know what? I agree with that. He should go to Secret Service and stay out of radio. The Secret Service should be replaced with an elite force dedicated to protecting the nation. I think it's more than that, though, because when you're a Navy SEAL, say, right, you're protecting our country as a whole. Everybody, Democrats, Republicans, idiots, smart people. But when you're in the Secret Service, there could be a big bias in your head about the person that you're protecting.
Yeah.
So this idiot just told some person, oh yeah, J.D. Vance is going to be right here on this day, and this is where he's going to be, and this is where we're going to be marching with it. I'm like, oh my God, what if that was a spy, somebody like the one that assassinated him?
Well, it's as simple as that, Vic. If they hadn't caught this guy, they wouldn't have known to change their pattern, and they could have fallen right into a trap.
Yeah. Pete Hegseth should head up a new presidential elite protection team.
There you go.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
Deli Day, yep, marble on rye, pastrami, I got it. A dichotomy, question mark? I don't know what you're talking about. I hate the smell of patchouli. Whatever happens.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to Enigma? I don't know what.
I remember my wife's brother when I first started dating my wife. This is 30 years ago at Plus. Her brother came in the room to meet me, and he was wearing that crap. And I'm thinking to myself, am I going to have to deal with this?
Was he holding one finger up and he needed one ticket?
No.
The fraud in Minnesota is just the tip of the iceberg. It's happening everywhere in blue states and some purple states and maybe pockets in red states. And yet money is very slow to get to nursing homes for needy residents, and our veterans are struggling to survive. Fix it now, President Trump. Fire Bondi now. Get a prosecutor that is rabid. What would you think about Josh Hawley as the Attorney General of the United States?
I don't know.
I
like Andrew Bailey, the idea of him.
Oh, yeah. This Somali stuff goes back to Obama. He needs to be questioned about this setup. He had to know, as did Joe Autopen. Feel like your doctor?
I made the comment on social media about Obama bringing in Somalis en masse in one location. There's a big difference here.
Yeah.
And then this guy gets on and says, well, actually, they've been bringing Somalis in since the early 90s. Well, yes, 4,000 here, 3,000 here.
Democrats are underwater, say? They're under the Dead Sea, say? Makes me wonder how widespread the theft is across our nation. Yes, sir. Afghanistan is a theocratic emirate. Okay, so they are. Sorry, my bad. Jacupil. That's how you say it? Don't care. Don't want to. Autopen needs drunken Kamala with him. Harry Enton and Scott Jennings on CNN. How? Because CNN knows shows like yours will play it. CNN hopes folks will come to watch them for some ratings. You can't, see? Hey, what do you mean comedy is hard? Oh, that's right, because I tell jokes and you never laugh at them over there. Whatever.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Why?
How dare you?
I used to make you bend over, you laughing so hard. Now you're like so used to me.
It still happens.
Can men get pregnant? Barbara wants to know.
Oh, my goodness.
Good morning, Freedom Fighters. Good Thursday morning. A bunch of Vic Heads. Whoosh, Grant, hope you're feeling better, baby, and hope you're enjoying retirement. Good morning, Vic Head Patriots. Good morning, fam. Bam. Hi, Ken and Vic. Can I ask people to pray for Allison, please? Yes.
Yeah.
Pray for Allison, and we're going to get something going to help out that family that we would like you to help out on, but I don't want to get into that yet until it's official.
Shut up.
Good morning, everyone. Hope your day is blessed. Today,
Shut your face.
board meeting day at Francis Howell. That's from Jane. Good morning, Vic and Ken. All right, so there is a give, send, go for Allison, but we'll talk about that tomorrow because we're plumb out of time, Ellie Mae. See?
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right about that.
Oh, I'll be damned. Okay, James Ortiz from Havana 1961 restaurant in St. Peters is next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL, number one for live and local conservative talk.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. The Vic Porcelli Show.
I have a theory. People talk loud when they want to act smart, right? Correct!
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
On the next
Larry Connors, USA.
Today's story behind the story, when I decided to become a pilot and scare the daylights out of myself.
Larry Connors, USA. Now, weeknights 6 until 8 on News Talk STL.
They served our country with honor. Now it's our turn to serve them. Join the freedom13.org for an unforgettable gala honoring America's heroes, February 27th at the Foundry Arts Center in St. Charles. A special evening supporting Freedom 13's bold mission, 50 camps in 50 states on more than 50,000 acres, building 650 homes for veterans, police, and their families. Tickets and sponsorship opportunities are available now. Visit thefreedom13.org. That's thefreedom13.org.
Hunters, you know what's going on. Duck and goose season. Finish strong with Whistle Pig Outdoors. Mike Ferguson here. Get your ice rippers to punch through that frozen water for your decoy spread, and get your meat eater gear, cookbooks, and rubs. And also, Whistle Pig is one of only 5 First Light dealers in Missouri. Whistle Pig Outdoors on Main Street in Troy. Visit them online, whistlepigoutdoors.com, whistlepigoutdoors.com. Whistle Pig, get back out there.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness One.
Wellness One is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common sense science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on NewstalkSTL. And you can visit us at inhstl.com. That's inhstl.com.
This is Larry Connors, and my favorite sandwich at Capriotti's is a Philly cheesesteak with peppers. Sweet peppers, but sometimes hot peppers. I love Capriotti's, and so will you.
Open 9 to 9 daily on Manchester at McKnight in Rock Hill.
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Now, really, as we evolve our institution and drive creative new partnerships, let me be clear. Certain principles of our international system are sacrosanct.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
B.B. King with U2, When Love Comes to Town, recorded at Sun Records in Memphis.
Yeah.
And Bono has said that he chose B.B. King to do this song with them, not so much because of his guitar playing, but because of his awesome vocals. And
Yeah.
that was a great choice.
Really good choice,
You know?
yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. B.B. King plays a great guitar. Do you know a little trivia? You're a cat, so I'm sure you noticed this. But B.B. King never plays chords. He never plays rhythm. Always plays lead.
No, I didn't.
Never hits all 5 strings at
Well,
once.
that's interesting.
Isn't that a cool thing?
Yeah, he doesn't take second chair to anybody.
Or he just doesn't know how to do it, which is fine.
I don't know if that could be true, though. I'll bet he could do a chord. Vic, a rhythm guitar player plays chords.
But he's not a rhythm guitar player.
But I'm saying that, that is a easier position to have.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So if he can play lead, he's going to be able to play.
So he's saying, I don't need no chords.
Exactly right.
I don't need no rhythm guitar. I'm B.B. King.
I believe that.
You bet, B.B. And I think that he's a great singer. Adds to that song so much more.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
And they recorded it at Sun Records. And I asked the guy when I was there, when U2 came to town for the Rattle and Hum sessions, did they come in the middle of the night? Did they sneak in the middle of the night and leave? Or was there a big parade and confetti and, oh, my God, look, it's U2 recording at Sun Records? He said, absolutely, in the middle of the night. Nobody saw them come in. Nobody saw them come out.
Wow.
And then, this guy knew I was a freak because that conversation happened while he was trying to have lunch in the little deli part there, the little luncheonette part. So he said, oh, and by the way, he said, they used that drum set right there. I said, can I sit at it for a minute?
Just for a second.
Get my wife, take a picture? Absolutely. So I sat there, and there were drumsticks right there. So I looked like I was hitting the cymbals, like I'm a big drummer, and just took the picture. And then my wife said, will you leave him alone now and let him have lunch? I don't think I bothered him. I think he would appreciate a music fan asking questions.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure he appreciated it.
If you've ever seen the video for When Love Comes to Town, the guy that works at Sun Records is talking to Bono. There's a microphone in front of Bono, and the guy is trying to explain to him that this microphone is the same microphone that you see Elvis Presley singing in that photograph on the wall. So you get to touch and sing into a microphone that Elvis Presley touched and sang into.
Yeah, yeah.
Even if you're just taking the tour, you get to do that.
That's crazy.
So if you're Bono, you get to sing into it.
Right.
Because you're cool, because you're Bono.
Right.
Okay. You want to hear Nima Yamini? Is that what you want to hear?
Yeah, I do.
An Iranian Jew?
Yep.
An activist? And saying Epstein was very bad coverage everywhere. Why is the mainstream media not covering what they're doing to girls in Iran?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, my God, go.
You and I agree Jeffrey Epstein was evil. Wall-to-wall coverage.
endless outrage, right? Where is the outrage from the woke mob when it's in Iran? In Iran, there are documented videos, endless, coming out of little girls getting intimidated, abused, and terrorized by these animals, these beasts tied to Ali Khamenei. Clerics protected by this power. There's no courts, no justice, no protection for these girls. Look at their face. They're scared. They know no one's coming to help them. And if you speak up in Iran, you disappear. Now tell me something. Where are the woke leftists? Where is Greta? Where are the loud feminists? Where are the protests? Where are the hashtags? Where's the marches? Where's the college campuses? Gone, silent, missing. And if you're a dad with a daughter, ask yourself one thing. If this was your child, would silence be acceptable? Because this crime isn't just what's happening. It's who chooses to look away. Shame on you, BBC. Shame on you, New York Times. Shame on you, CNN, for not standing up for the women and the girls in Iran.
I say shame on all of them.
Can I go back to Wag the Dog for a sec?
Yeah.
Because did you hear him say children running and scared and screaming? That's what the people who were trying to help the president get reelected were doing, Hollywood style. It was a green screen, and the girl's got a scarf over her head, and she's running from looking back and screaming, and there's crumbled buildings all around her, and she's holding her little kitten, which actually wasn't a kitten when they filmed it. It was a bag of Doritos, and they took the Doritos out digitally and put a kitten in there, and they used that to show people in America that there was a war with Albania.
But you're not comparing that to this. I mean, this is real, what he's talking about here.
I didn't say it wasn't real.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, okay, so let me start again. There are scared children and girls in Iran, yes.
Yes.
But in Wag the Dog,
okay,
that's what they tried to portray.
I got you.
Sorry, I didn't explain myself very well. But the thing is, so the president, you got to watch this movie, Ken. You got to watch Wag the Dog.
I want to see it again.
In the movie, the president, 11 days before the election, the president is accused of sexually harassing what they call a fly girl in the movie. I don't know if that means like a Hooters girl. I have no idea what that means. But it's funny that the picture that they use on the newscast on the movie looks just like when Clinton was talking to Monica Lewinsky when she was behind the rope there and she got the beret around her.
Yeah, yeah.
It's almost exactly like that. I'm not saying that the president is Clinton in this. I'm not saying that. But so they made this movie and they hire a movie producer. Some of it pissed me off because I wrote a screenplay and movie producers are in that too. So.
Oh, okay. Well, when you brought that up about seeing the movie again, I realized there are a lot of things that I used to look at and see. I actually saw the beginning of that movie, Wag the Dog, before, but I was so disinterested in it that I didn't watch the whole thing. Whereas now I'll go back and I'll be like, oh my goodness, this is what we're doing now. This is what's happening.
They even make a "We Are the World" type of song. You know, they sing a song, and it's all about the 303. That was the squadron that Old Shoe was in.
Wow.
I mean, they really got intricate in it, and the story was this soldier named Schumann was left behind in Albania, and we have to go get him back. If we're Americans, we don't leave anybody behind. We go back and we bring back Old Shoe. That was his nickname, Old Shoe. And then they made a record that Willie Nelson and Pop Staples sing about Old Shoe. Old Shoe, the song was about this guy's dog when he walked around. He always walked around with Old Shoe, you know.
And then when you've talked about this movie before, I've known the concept. And back in 2021, even when they were saying things like, "Well, Nancy Pelosi's daughter, she has a movie camera. She's a movie director," and I always thought this is like a movie. We've talked about, I know, but I always felt this way. Like when they made that set, we found out that the White House set, the Oval Office, they had actually made a replica Oval Office for Joe Biden to speak out of because for some reason I think it had something to do with the teleprompters. He needed them big or far away or something where they they wouldn't fit in the regular Oval Office.
It's Wag the Dog.
Wag the Dog.
It's Wagging the Dog. It's really a good movie, and it really shows you. I don't know if it's a great movie, but it shows you what could happen, what they could do to pull the wool over your eyes. Like, say we're at war with a country that we're not at war with.
Yeah.
And they kept talking about the B-3 bomber. B-3 bomber came up 3 or 4 times or more in the movie, and somebody says, there is no B-3 bomber. Exactly. You know what I mean?
Right.
The guy that's the big, the guy who creates the whole facade of what's happening. It really is interesting, and it makes you think about what's real and what's not real. Are they telling us things that are the truth or not? You have to sit through. I'm sorry, I probably should have said this. You have to sit through Robert De Niro though, because he's the guy. He's the guy the architect of the whole thing.
Well, of course he is.
And then Dustin Hoffman plays the movie producer who makes it all happen. And so I was mad at that because that was a little bit of my idea in a screenplay I wrote. And then the end, totally my screenplay, almost to a T at the very end.
And you wrote this before this movie came out?
Oh, yeah. No. This movie came out first.
And
and then I wrote my thing, but I've seen Wag the Dog, but I didn't memorize it.
Right.
Like I obsess now.
Not that you obsess, ever.
Thank you, Ken. But it's interesting. It really is.
But getting back to what we were talking about with this clip, though, Vic, I mean, the women that are being treated so badly over there, and there's nothing that anybody can do about it if they take hold. If they don't succeed in the takeover of this theocracy, thousands more are going to die.
And I think the important thing, too, what you're saying, incredibly important, also as important, why is the mainstream media not covering what they're doing to girls in Iran? I mean, can you imagine? Try to think of what they do to women, right? And it's okay. It's part of the law. It's part of the religion. It's part of the Islam.
Yeah.
Imagine what they do to the girls.
I'm going to go into a couple things I've seen. Okay, these old, gray-bearded mullahs or whatever they are. They're almost like, and I don't think you've ever seen it. The Gilead, the women who wear the red gowns and the white hat.
Talking about the Handmaid's Tale.
Handmaid's Tale. Yeah. Did you see any of that?
Yeah, I did. I watched it for a while.
Okay. Well, but it's all bull. I mean, they don't believe. Even the leaders of that group don't believe it, but they have to make up these rules. And one of the rules is to take advantage of the women.
Right.
And that's what they actually do in real life. This is actually happening. They use this makeup show to get a point across, but when it's really actually happening in Iran.
Yes. And when I watched it for a little while, the people who take these girls and get them pregnant or whatever are called commanders. They're commanders.
Correct.
So after I watched it, the Redskins had changed their name to the Commanders.
Right.
And I put up, again, nobody appreciates my comedy. I'm not going to do this comedy if you guys don't appreciate it. But I put a picture of all the Handmaid's Tale women, and I said, here's a shot of the new cheerleading team for the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, I like that.
But you didn't laugh.
But I heard it before.
No, you didn't.
Yes,
I heard somebody else?
No, you said it.
Oh, what are you saying? I repeat my jokes?
No, never.
What are you saying? I'm under the Dead Sea? I'm under the Dead Sea, see? Okay. I guess that's it.
I just wish our media would pick up on this and try and at least support what's going on in Iran right now.
I guarantee you some liberal douchebag on social media will say, you're making you conservatives, you make that stuff up. That's not happening.
Yeah.
They will.
No, I know.
Say, they will close their eyes to anything that's violent against women these days. The National Association for Women, National Organization for Women, was a liberal thing, wasn't it?
Yeah. When did they pivot away from it?
I haven't heard it from them in years. Not in years. Gloria Steinem, right?
Well, that was a long time ago. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll have to have James come and speak to us another day, and Maria at Havana 1961. But you ate there, and it was great, right?
It was awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for having the record player on at night to listen to us this morning.
Make sure you have the record player on at night.
Have a great day. The 3 martini lunch Start stirring or shaking. Wait, shaken?
Or stirred.
Wait, shaken, not stirred.
No.
How would James Bond want it? Shaken, not stirred.
Right.
All right. Amy's
Wish.
next.
As you know, Vincent's is not just my favorite jeweler. Vincent's is my only jeweler. And I was in recently looking at lab-grown diamonds. These are not glass. They are actual diamonds, but they cost a fraction of a natural diamond. You can check them out at Vincent's.com, or better yet, see these lab-grown diamonds in person. You're going to be amazed at the beauty and the price. Vincent's Jewelers. Vincent'sJewelers.com.
News Talk STL is proud to have Doug Voss of Safe Bunny Radio as part of our lineup each week. Doug has been a staple on the St. Louis radio airways for many years as one of the leading financial experts in the area. You can now hear Doug and Safe Bunny Radio every weekend on News Talk STL. But in case you miss anything, you can check it all out at DougVossSafeBunnyRadio.com. What else do our listeners need to know, Doug?
Simply put, I focus on helping pre-retirees and retirees build, preserve, and protect retirement assets, and I've been helping my clients solve their insurance and financial needs for the past 33 years. I also strive to educate my clients on how to prepare for retirement, minimize the impact of market volatility on their assets, and deal with the challenges of increased longevity. Call me today at 844-676-SAFE. That's 844-676-7233.
Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through DHL Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
Concerned about the condition of your windows driving up your energy bills? I was too. It's only called STL Windows and Doors. Their Provia windows combine old world craftsmanship the professional way, the Provia way, with over 65 years of combined experience, locally owned, offering competitive pricing and personalized service that the big box companies can't match. Call today for your free in-home estimate and start saving tomorrow. 314-277-5952 or STLWindowsandDoors.com.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewstalkSTL.com.
Breaking news at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington.